Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop, here with my main man, Willie Jack. And week one is now in the books, man. We've been waiting a long time for football season to start up, man. And now we already done went through week one. You know what I'm saying? Had a lot of crazy games, man. A lot of surprising finishes, man. But we in the books now, man. Week one in the books. Willie Jack, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Just like you said, man, it ain't no feeling like when football first come back, man. It's just something about it, bro. It's better than Christmas morning. Man, the day before your birthday, I don't know what it is. When football season is back, bro, like that first, like, man, I'm really sitting down this Sunday and watching football. Like, bro, ain't nothing like so. Yeah, I can't ask for more. Can't ask for more at all.
For sure, man. We got a good show for y'all today, man. Of course, man, we moving into a different season now. Before we used to come with the rankings, we used to come with all these different predictions and scenarios and things like that. But now in the midst of football season, we got two shows. First and foremost, if you missed us on Sunday, man, Chop Willie in the morning. You can catch us every Sunday, 10 a.m. We're going to be live going in on YouTube, man. 10 a.m. You can always check that episode out. You know what I'm saying? Chopping Willie in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But what I was going back to what I was saying, we got two episodes, man. We got Wednesdays nights at 7 p.m. That never changes. We always here at that time. That's where we come in and give you the recap of all the games that happened on Sunday and Monday, man. We give you a recap, break down all those different games, break down what happened, go through all those different schemes, you know what I'm saying, and break that down. And then Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., we always will go ahead and give you a preview of all the games. We'll give you our predictions. You know what I'm saying? We go through everything for y'all, man. Let y'all know what y'all going to be looking forward to, as we go into the week. Speaking of giving our picks, you know what I'm saying? It's only right that I go ahead and give y'all an update on the standings, especially to the people, you know what I'm saying, who are a part of the Let the Film Speak weekly pick'em. As of right now, our very own Willie Jack, man, he's holding down first place, man. He's in the lead after week one, man. He's sitting at 11-5. Then we had two people tied in second at 9-7, and then we got everybody else that's in, man. They sitting at 7-9, man. I'm part of that 7-9 crew, man. So it was a rough first week for me. Man. I seen a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, trick off some games. I seen some missed field goals. I seen a lot of stuff, man. But hey, it's all good, man. It's a long season, as Willie Jack knows. He was ahead of me last year. You know what I'm saying? I think I end up beating that boy by at least 15 games. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
You talking too much about old stuff. See, you talking too much about old stuff. Yesterday's price ain't today's price, Chop. That's all I can
You're right. You're absolutely right. So those who are in, man, get your picks in, man. I need those picks. I'm not going to keep chasing y'all for these picks, man. Get your picks in. Like I said, y'all can either send them to me on Facebook, or you can email filmtalk 247. filmtalk247@gmail.com, man. You send that email over to that email. Send your picks over to the email. I get the picks in, and just like I'm doing right now, man, I give y'all the standings each and every week. Let y'all know where we standing at, who's all where, and we can kind of go from there, man. So get your picks in, man. Tomorrow, we got a Thursday night game, which we are going to preview before this episode is over. So get your picks in if you want that one in, man. A few of y'all missed that one, but hey, get them in. We're going to roll from there, and that's how we're going to shoot it off, man. That's how we're going to get it going. But without further ado, Willie Jack, I think it's about time for us to go ahead and get right to it, man. You ready?
Let's do it.
You ready to get right to it, man?
Yeah, for sure, man. And then I was going to say, man, I got to figure out how to blast it out on the new platform. So I've got it pulled up on my phone right now on Facebook, so I can at least, send a couple blasts out. But I know there's got to be a way to do it. I'm still working through all that. But, man, we got a couple folks that jumped in, man. Skinny in the building, man. What's going on, man? Real STL Sports in the building. Appreciate you as always, man. Sis in the building. LaShawna, what's going on? My cousin TC in the building. What's going on? She cutting? Man, DeJuan Jones, what's going on, man? My auntie in the building. Family love. Let's go on, man. Let's get it going. But, yeah, man, if you see me looking distracted, I'm sending out. I'm trying to do it on my phone so I can figure out how to do it on here. I want to let you know what's going on.
I got you. Well, look, I ain't finna wait on you, man. I'm finna get right to it, man. Either you get with it or get ran over, Willie Jack. But let's go ahead and jump into the first game, Willie Jack. the first game, man, we got the New Orleans Saints. They go to Atlanta and steal a W, man, and they win that game 27-26. All right, and I'm gonna start it off, Willie Jack, man. First and foremost, very entertaining game. All right, very entertaining game. The Falcons actually controlled 3/4 of this. So this is not really what I expected. In this game, I expected the Saints to be able to control this game the majority of the time, but the Falcons actually had control of this between Mariota's versatility, run game and scrambling in the pocket. He finished with 72 rushing yards himself. The Falcons had over 200 rushing yards, so that tells you right there who controlled the clock. You know what I mean? But that's why you play the game. You know what I'm saying? It was 4 quarters in the game, and you got to play all 4 quarters. If you come up short one, that can cost you a game, and that's definitely what happened in this particular game, man. And in the 4th quarter, Saints actually came into the 4th quarter down 26-10. 26-10. Now, look, everybody remembers 28-3. You know what I'm saying? That's different. That's always going to be remembered. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
But that's 28-3 at half. This is 26-10 in the 4th quarter. The Saints' talent took over. The Saints' talent took over. Michael Thomas, he hadn't played since 2020, man. He came back with a vengeance. 5 catches, 57 yards. 4 of them came in the 4th quarter. 5 catches, 57 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 4 of those catches and 2 of those touchdowns came in the 4th quarter. Alave, he came up with a big 2-point conversion to help put them in position to take their W. And Landry also with a big sideline catch, man. So those 3 guys, man, that they're happy to have back, and with all that skill and all that talent, man, they really came up big in the 4th quarter, and the Saints end up coming away with this victory, man. Willie Jack, what were your thoughts on this game?
No, exactly like you said, man. Game definitely didn't go the way I envisioned it going. Just like you said, man, Atlanta had more than a little bit of fight, man. And like you said, we're firmly in control of that game for the bulk of it as far as the scores concerned. Like you said, 16-point lead 4th quarter. And then I tell you what happened in the 4th quarter, Chop. They let famous Jameis Cook. They went ahead and took the shackles off my boy. They went and opened up a little bit. They sped the tempo up. I think they sped the tempo up and let kind of Jameis get more of a just kind of go at his own kind of pace. And I think that's when they really started getting some of those explosive plays, like you talk about the Jarvis Landry catch down the field. Mike Thomas, man, looked good. I wasn't sure what to expect from Mike Thomas. I wasn't a huge Mike Thomas fan when he left. Well, not to say I wasn't a fan of his. I wasn't a fan of his being the number 1 receiver. Is what most people had him ranked at the time. I wasn't on that wagon, but he's definitely a talented guy. He's an Ohio State guy. But no, man, he looked good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, consider what's he got going. That 4th quarter looked good. We should say that. You know what I'm saying? That 4th quarter looks good. The what was that? The back shoulder touchdown, the left sideline 1-on-1 with AJ Terrell. 2 years out the game, you come in and then you know what I'm saying, you go work an all-pro corner. You know what I'm saying, a young all-pro corner right here. The boy ain't even entered his prime yet, but he's picking up right where he left off is what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? So all man, Atlanta won get away, and Atlanta looks to be a team. Now they showed well today. Good thing about playing a division rival, a team you're familiar with, you know all the players, you know all the pieces, and so even though it's the first thing in the season, you already have some type of general idea about tendencies and etc. And like I said, interdivision, and so they showed well. I don't think Atlanta is going to be this competitive for the remainder of the season, but for those reasons I was just saying, I think they gave a very good showing, and they really missed an opportunity here and let one get away. And then the Saints, who have, who are still poised to have a pretty big year. That division between them and the Bucs is wide open. It is wide open, I think. And like I said, they do a good job cleaning some things up and getting out of there with a win. Because like I said, almost tricking that one off for 3.5 quarters.
Gotcha. Yeah, and just touching base in those comments a little bit, man. Somebody says no lead is safe in the state of Georgia. That's a fact, man. It's been time after time again. You're right. Ain't no lead state. You absolutely ain't no lead safe in the state of Georgia. You're absolutely right there, man. Absolutely right. Yeah. All right, Willie Jack, man. Let's move on to the next game, man. Next game we had San Fran. Another surprising game. Going to Chicago to take on the Bears, and the Bears got one from San Fran, man. They end up winning this game 19-10. Willie Jack, I'm gonna let you go first. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and clean it on up. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm gonna let you talk about Pro Bowl Justin Fields for a second.
Hey, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out your way too, man. They should have got the Monsoon Bowl, the Flood Bowl.
Man,
it was a gallon. It was a foot of water on the field, man. They got memes and clips of Justin Fields slipping, sliding down the field. Boy slid for 20 feet on his stomach in the water, bro. It was
Hey
crazy.
man, hey,
but
man, he
but
slid
no,
like a mug.
yeah, but this is one of those games where they were at home. The ugly weather more than anything, even more so than Trey Lance's level of play. The weather, even that playing field, because they're clearly not as talented by any measure on par, or you know what I'm saying, as talented as the San Francisco 49ers. This is still a team that has like aspirational NFC championship design or plans or yeah. Excuse me, God, I can't talk, man. They have their eyes set on still contending for championships. This is a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year and gave the eventual Super Bowl everything they could ask for. You know what I'm saying? Up until the last game. So this is a game. This is a team that still sees themselves as we're still in our window. We still that same team, and so that's going to be the battle that we see all year, is the patience of the team for Trey Lance. For the leash that the coaching staff is giving Trey Lance. How long is that team gonna sit there quietly while Trey Lance tries to develop and get it together before they realize, hey, now we might be tricking this off. These type of runs and this type of team don't come around often enough to where you can make a run at it, and especially in the NFC that's down this year as well. And so, but credit to Chicago. It was ugly for both teams, and they got it done. Like, so I'm gonna leave Chicago alone. Let you talk about your dog, but no, like I said, man. At the end of the day, man, they did what it took to win. You know what I'm saying? So, Juwan with his legs, made plays when they had to, and I think they get out there with was it 19-10?
19-10.
Yeah, so they get out there with an ugly win, but a win's win. So there you go.
Right. Yeah, long as it's a one in that W column, that's all that matter, man. But
exactly.
But you know, to what you said, both teams actually struggled offensively. Like this, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like Justin Fields had a wonderful game. No, he didn't have one. Both teams struggled. I think Justin Fields had like 60 yards passing going into the second half. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it was due to the weather. You know what I'm saying? So I don't actually put much into this game. You know what I'm saying, at all, because I want to see every game is not gonna be monsooning, it's not gonna be hurricaning, you know what I'm saying, in every game like this. There's gonna be some games where, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be more of I wouldn't say necessarily even playing field, because it was still an even playing field, but it's gonna be much cleaner games. You know what I'm saying? You get a much better grip on the football, you know what I'm saying? It'll be more conducive to great offensive play than a game like this. But back to the weather, I thought the weather would have made this more of a San Francisco game. The ugly, grimy, dirty type games, these are the type of games that the 49ers usually flourish in. You know what I mean? Those ugly games. And it actually was the other side. It was where it turned this into backyard football for Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? And Justin Fields, you know what I'm saying, just did what he did. A prime example of that was him getting out of the pressure, rolling to the left, throwing the ball all the way back to the right side to a wide open guy who just ran right up the sideline for a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was around him. My mama probably could have made that throw. You know what I'm saying? But him getting out of getting out of trouble like that in the rain and all that stuff, I think all of that played a factor in him being able to make that particular play. But then other than that too, he still made the other plays when it counted too down the stretch. So, hey, man, they both was playing in that. Hey, but they did their thing, man. They did their thing. They came away with the W, just like we said. And as far as my Trey Lance, is my last thing, and then we'll continue to move. But as far as Trey Lance, I did see some solid things from him. I wouldn't say that he had a terrible game. You know what I'm saying? With now thinking about the weather, putting that in play, I did see some things. You know what I'm saying? But they are going to have to string together some W's. They're not going to sit back for a long time, as you said, Willie Jack, and just wait on this or let this ship just sink. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do something if they continue to pile up the L's. So I think they'll turn it around and make some changes. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon and come away on the other side of things.
Now here's my question for you: over under before Jimmy G replaces Trey Lance. Let's call it 7.5 games. If the over-under is 7.5, does he see a full 8 games for Jimmy G replaces it? What do you think?
I think he'll see 10. I think he'll see 10 games.
That might be too late. If you go full 10, it's only 17 games. That's what I'm saying.
This is the thing. You might be right, but what I see happening is Trey Lance having some good moments. You know what I'm saying? And even if he has a couple bad moments, I think they're gonna be able to still pull out some W's in some of those bad moments. You know what I mean? So I think them being able to win is gonna hold him a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Than normally. Now, like I said, if the L start to fall, I mean, week 3, week 4. They're gonna go back to Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So you taking the over? You think he's gonna get?
Because I think he's gonna be okay. I honestly got faith. I think he's gonna be all right, and I think he's gonna be okay. That's just it. That's my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some growing pains. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's gonna be all right.
Okay. Okay.
Now a couple people in the chat too. One person says, "Man, I'm hearing they not sold on Trey." You know what I'm saying? I can see that. I can see that.
The locker room for sure. Like everybody know what's going on. Like everybody is fully aware. Like man, obviously he's not the best one on the team. So I think that's what we was talking about. I think the locker room is trying to be patient this early going. But just like Chop said, them L's pile up fast, man, and ain't nobody got time to sacrifice for the eventual glory of Trey Lance. Like, nah, we gotta eat right now.
Gotcha. All right, man. Shout out to Suge and Tim, man, watching, man. Appreciate y'all for joining in, tuning on in, man. Appreciate that.
That's my mama.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
And then I'm not getting any names in the chat. So I've got it. Like I said, I put it up on my phone as well so I can get people's names for these comments because the restream ain't shut. Hey, y'all got to make that move to YouTube, man. I can't see y'all name. We can't see. Well, I don't know if Chop can, but I can't see anybody's names in all these comments. But I'm just getting random Facebook user. But hey, if y'all was here for the well, y'all should have been. I know y'all was. If y'all was here for the first Wednesday show where we opened the season, if you're on Facebook and you're commenting, after your comment, do the same thing. Put a little dash or slash or something, then put your name so that way when we read your comment, we can still shout you out. But I've got it put on, but the chats aren't synced, and so I may miss something. But yeah, if you're commenting on Facebook, put your name in your comment as well so we can shout y'all out.
Gotcha. Moving on, Willie Jack, man. Let's go to my game of the week, man. And I'm happy I made this my game of the week because it didn't fail me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't let me down. It was very exciting. But at the same time, man, it was a lot of bad football played. I'm just gonna put that out there, man. It was some bad football played, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel the same, Willie Jack. Of course, I'm gonna get out your way because I know you rocking with your squad. You know, they got one, they pulled it out. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, Cincinnati blew this game, man. They blew this game. They had 5 turnovers this game. Burrow sacked 7 times. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to my dog, Willie Jack, because he says at the end of the day, on paper don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You got to show it on the field. And they got those offensive linemen, and it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Hayward, Highsmith, and TJ Watt had a field day up front, man, and they were making some things happen. Hopefully it's one of those situations where they just need a little bit more time to gel. You know what I'm saying? And as they go through the season and progress, you know, we see some progression from that offensive line unit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that's what it is. But Willie Jack, like I said, he told y'all, man, hey, if I got to see it on paper first, you know what I'm saying? Putting a bunch of names together don't mean nothing. I need to see it on paper. So that's one of those things. But at the end of that, they still were in position to win. You know what I'm saying? After all of that, sacked 7 times, 5 turnovers, they still were in position to win. One particular play, man, I saw Chase scored and didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've seen him play, Willie Jack. But
I've seen it now.
Oh, yeah, you saw everything. But he scored, didn't even know it. They end up getting a turnover on downs, man, and on a from a first and goal situation, which should have been a touchdown. They end up going to turnover on downs. But then they get the ball back. And mind you, it's probably like 2-3 minutes left at this time. They get the ball back, drive back down the field, and score the last play of the game. You know what I'm saying? So they had their chances, but then going to the Steelers, man, this just speaks to the leadership of this team, meaning the coaches and the players that are leading this team, because it was like, no matter what happens, man, this game is never over. You know what I'm saying? Everybody probably thought that the chances of first one, Evan McPherson missing the field goal, let alone it getting blocked, was the chances were slim to none. Like, and Evan McPherson has been money, you know what I'm saying, since he's been in the league. So it's like, oh, dang. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how you felt, Willie Jack, at that moment, but you probably felt deflated and like, oh, man, we play hard. But here goes Minka Fitzpatrick, who was already having a hell of a game. blocks the kick, you know what I'm saying, blocks the field goal. They go into overtime. They go back and forth. Both kickers miss field goals, but Boswell ends up hitting his, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the game, man, and putting the Steelers in a W column. So, hey, man, I got to give it to the Steelers, man, for their fight. You know what I'm saying, for their will and they want to win, man. They came out there no matter what was going on, and their defense was balling. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to y'all, Willie Jack, and what y'all put together. And definitely kudos to Mike Tomlin, man. Mike Tomlin, man. Hey, man. Hey, y'all need to start talking some more to Tomlin, man. Y'all need to start watching that boy, man. Y'all may not end up in like the high win column, man, at the end of this year, but y'all gonna be in these games and y'all gonna be competitive. That's
a fact, and that's why I didn't know. That's what I've always said is like, man, now was TJ's injury and Najee getting banged up is a little different, but piggybacking on what you said, man, Tomlin's one of those guys where he's got, like, they call him like Tomlinisms, like things he's just like memed about saying. One of the things he always says, and you'll see like highlights and clips of it on NFL Network, wherever, he always says, don't blink. And it's just what you was talking about, like, don't blink. It's never over. It's never over. Until the final whistle blow, it is never over. And that's for good or for bad, because when the game first starts, and shout out to Minka, man. Minka making his case and his argument for being the best safety in football. You know what I'm saying? Like, in week one's game, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, they came out and announced that as well. But yeah, week one's game, man, is a very strong start to that campaign. Gets the game started. He really sets that tone and that tempo for that game. Pick six. That may have been Joe Burrow's first pass of the season.
Yes.
Well, okay, yeah, and I thought so. Very first pass. And honestly, it wasn't a tremendously great. Joe Burrow eyed him down. Joe Burrow stared him down the whole time, and so you could tell it's just the intricacies of, or just the, trying to get back in the flow. He drops back. It looked like high school football in the JV game. He dropped back, looking at number one the whole time. Didn't never take his eyes off him. Got to his drop and tried to let it go. And you got all pro guy like Minka Fitzpatrick sitting there. That was taking candy for a baby. Literally. So he jumps it, catches it, takes it to the crib. It's 7-0, they in a hole, and now we rolling. Then from there, just like Chop was saying, man, y'all should have been here Sunday, because Chop and Willie in the morning, I let y'all boys know, like, hey, man, they did a lot of things to that paper. They did a lot of things to that line on paper. But you play this game on Sundays in the grass, big dog. You play this game on Sundays in the grass, and that bear fruit. Just like Chop told y'all, man, 7 sacks was on them boys all day long. Alex Highsmith, man, my youngster, the guy who's paired on the opposite side of TJ Watt, he's the guy he credited with most of those sacks. He had 3 sacks on the day. TJ had a sack. He had the play he got injured on, had Joe Burrow in his arms and then fell off, and Joe Burrow did a great job escaping. But yeah, he had a sack in numerous pressures. He had an interception on. He had a deflected pass that could have been an interception for someone. He jumped up, and instead of deflecting one, he intercepted one himself. Cameron Hayward had a sack. So just like Chop told y'all, man, we was definitely getting busy up front. The guys on the back end were definitely being very opportunistic. 4 interceptions. Started with Minka. 2 or 3 of the other guys also got interceptions. Now here's the play that Chop was talking about. There's a lot of stuff that happened in that game, man. We have to talk about. We all seen it, or we've seen the highlights by now. But one of the best takes that I've heard on that was from Chris Sims. Chris Sims has his own. Chris Sims, he's with NBC now. Came up from Bleacher Report, and so he's got his own podcast. And he was talking about it. And he's called it perfectly. I'm not gonna say he's the only one, but that right there is just you blame that on a young coach. You blame that, and he said you blame that more specifically, and I'm paraphrasing now, essentially you blame that on the arrogance, let's say, of a young coach, because they got the first down. If you remember, they were in one of those positions where you can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. And it's a touchdown, he catches the ball, his body just naturally sways, and he sways the ball, onto the white line. That's a touchdown. And his foot was also on the white line. So it's a touchdown. He ends up going out like at the 3-inch line. And right there, just like Chop said, it was an experienced coach, a coach who knows the value of these points. And this is where what Chris Sims was saying is, you cannot in this league for granted. Like, it's 1st and goal from the 3-inch line. We'll punch it in. No need to worry about challenging it. No, bro, this ain't that. You cannot count. You got to take them points when you can get them, because the very next play, 1st and 3 from the 6-inch yard line, they get blown up on a halfback dive. They lose 4 yards. Now it's 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 6, maybe. Saying like boys got rocked. And then they end up not getting in. Now you're in a position where now you got to go for it on 4th down. And Cam Sutton makes a good play, falling off his own man and jumping. And if he should have if he'd have been able to intercept that one and end the game and send the win for us right there, game over. That'd have been great. But he doesn't enough to deflect the pass though. Jamar Chase can't get to it. And then just like Chop is saying, there's 2 key points for me that really sealed this win. And more so than all the mistakes and everything else that got going. Well, for one, the offense was atrocious. We couldn't get anything going. But what ended up happening, why they even got the ball back with so much time, Najee Harris gets hurt. We're trying to run the clock out on 3rd down. Najee Harris gets hurt, and he's injured. It's an injury because he can't get off the field fast enough, and it stops the clock, and they have like 1 minute and 4 seconds left. They take an injury timeout, and it caught our timeouts. And so then we have to punt the ball back. Field position was terrible because, again, offense couldn't get anything going outside of that one. We had 2 or 3 splash plays from a Claypool reverse and sweep or whatever, but got nothing going all day. And so now we put the ball back in their hands, and then they do what they're supposed to do to win the game. And then from there, all hell breaks loose. So as crazy as the game once the game got tied, then everything got even crazier still. But all in all, man, like Chop said, a win is a win is a win. A dub is a dub is a dub. Ugly, skinny, fat, short, pretty or not, I will take it either way. And so, hey, on to the next one, man. But yeah, not the way we wanted to win, but a win nonetheless. So we'll take it. And then on the other side of that, my bad, Chop. Don't read too much into this. I know y'all not reading too much in this on my Steelers side, of course, but I'm not reading too much into this on the Bengals side. This is still going to be a team near the top of the AFC. Now, I wasn't as high on them preseason coming in as Chop was, but they're still going to be a team that's going to make a lot of noise this year. So yeah, don't read too much into this. They played as bad as they could have ever imagined playing, and came back and went to overtime. You know what I'm saying? So the sky's not falling in Cincinnati either.
For sure. And then a couple just last minute things on this, man. Injury reports of important information. Najee Harris, of course, like you mentioned, he suffered an injury, and he was limited. He was limited in practice, and actually was end up being his foot. And then TJ Watt, man, he's seen some specialists, and I know y'all probably seen Willie Jack posting a little bit about his injury. He thought he tore his pec. You can kind of read his lips coming off the field, saying he tore his pec, but looks like it's not a tear. So the recovery time, he's looked like he's going to be able to come back around maybe the 6-week mark. So 6 weeks from now, it looks like he'll be able to come back. I know that was a breath of fresh air for the Steelers fans, because TJ Watt on the field, man, whoo, he's a difference maker. Sure, he's a difference maker.
TJ Watt may be directly. There's direct wins and losses whether or not he's on the field. We saw that last year. Completely different team when he's on the field and we're not, man. And especially this year, as ugly as that offense looked this year, it looked worse than last year. We just couldn't get anything going at all. And so, yeah, finding out that he's not lost for the year or not thought to be lost for the year and has a chance to come back at any point this year is definitely a win. And then real quick, man, shout out to Day One Gang Jarrell in the building, man, just touched down. What's going on with you, big dog? And now he said he got here at the wrong game. Now you didn't, man. You right on time to catch this realness. And then you still got time to catch them Eagles as well when they come around. So you good.
Gotcha. Speaking of that, man, let's go ahead and move right on to the Eagles, man. Eagles. They go to Detroit, man, and come away with a victory over the Detroit Lions, man, with a final score of 38-35. So they squawked by, man. They squawked by. I don't even know if that's a word, man. They squeaked.
I got you.
They barely got by. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
It might be because it's past tense. Since they already did it past tense, you might be on to something.
They squawked by. That's funny. But anyway, man, they end up getting by, man, and win this game 38-35. Willie Jack, go ahead. I'll let you tackle this one first, man.
Yeah, and no, man, and so like you said, man, Day One Gang around the building, man, you right on time. And so this was definitely a game. Now, much like I've said before, and like Chop, I think it said as well, Detroit's going to compete now. I don't know about the wins and losses at the end of the year, but Detroit's going to compete, and that's exactly they really built on that mantra that they carried over from last year. You know what I'm saying? So they refused to lay down and just turn it in. And previous Detroit teams or just teams accustomed to losers. Like I've been telling y'all for about 2 years now, losers find a way to lose, just like winners find a way to win. And Detroit was in a perfect position to go ahead and just turn it in. If the game starts off close, I think in the second quarter they scored first, and then Eagles tied up at the end toward the back of the half for the second quarter. So toward the almost up to halftime, it's a 7-7 ball game. And then now Philly does eventually get rolling, and I think they get up to a point where it was 21. I think it was 21-7, and this right there is where Campbell shows what he means to that team. Because maybe we don't necessarily see it in the X's and O's, but the thing about being a head coach is there's 1,000 ways to skin that cat. You know what I'm saying? Some guys are Sean Payton, or some guys are Sean McVay, some guys are Andy Reid, some guys are Kyle Shanahan, where their specific imprint is on everything their side of the ball does, and so you can tangibly see and dictate their value. Then there's some coaches that don't affect the game like that, but they're every bit as valuable to a team. You know what I'm saying? You've got a John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh ain't never coached offense or defense. You know what I'm saying? But his impression in on that Ravens team is obvious to everyone. You know what I'm saying? So and he's that type of coach. Pre-Dan Campbell, they get down 21-0 at home or not, they turn it in. That game is 49-7. They just turn it in. But no, man, they stayed. They fought it out. They're gritty. You know what I'm saying? They fought back. They get a score. It's 21-14. We go into the second half. Philly runs back off a little bit. They get up to 31-14. And then there we go again. They keep fighting, pounding. DeAndre Swift. I wasn't as high on Swift coming in when he was coming into Georgia. Chop was. Chop was a bigger fan of his, and man, he's proven it every day. The more I see DeAndre Swift, bro, boy, is nice. And he looked good last year. He was a little banged up, but he definitely looked like, oh man, no, he might be all right. He's past, he might be all right. Like, nah, that boy nice. You know what I'm saying? Like he really is, man. He's got good short area agility, man, good quickness, very good burst. You know what I'm saying? When he sees it, he hits it, and he's, you know what I'm saying, he's little. You know what I'm saying? He gets little on folks. So he's looking good, man. Big plays there. Jamal Williams, they use him as a thunder and lightning combo. He's kind of the goal line and short yardage guy, and he's another guy that kind of brings the juice, brings a little juice to the offense. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, they fight. It was an ugly game for Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? But there again, like I said, they stayed in there. You know what I'm saying? So that defense probably gave up a lot more than they wanted to. And then on the Eagles side as well, because I'm not as high on them as my dog Jarrell going to be, but I am very high on these Eagles this year. And there was as impressive as they looked at times, there's still cause for concern there. For one, I don't know if you should give up 35 points to the Detroit Lions in any week. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like you got to be able to salt these games away. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get up 2 scores on these teams, and as talented as you are, you got to be able to, you know what I'm saying, close the gate, close the door behind you. And they couldn't put Detroit away. And that's a credit to Detroit. And it's also a cause for concern for Jarrell's Eagles. You got to put these teams away, because next week ain't Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you're going to get into the meat of this schedule and get into other guys who have that same style of I'm gonna say pedigree for lack of a better word, but got teams that are on the same level or equal footing with you, and you're not gonna be able to. Maybe you don't steal that one away. Maybe let that one go. Is what I'm trying to say. And so still a lot to work with there. Loved AJ Green. They can't put the ball in his hands enough. He had 10 catches. AJ Brown. Excuse me. They can't put the ball in his hands enough, bro. They can't put the ball in his hands enough. Much like we said, that dog came out. They had a couple passes, bro, where he catches like a deep over route or just like a deep route. Let's say he catches a 15 or 20-yard pass, and he's working, bro. It was one play up the right sideline. He didn't score on it, but he gets contacted at the 12. He don't go down to the 6. You know what I'm saying? Like he's snatching his leg away from boys. He's shouldering. Boys is tugging. Like just. And that's why I really appreciate his game. And so I really love what he's going to do there, man. And they can only get better. 10 for 140. I think he had a tub. 10 for 140 or so. They really controlled. They really, like I said, really got busy, got cooking with the run game, of course. 4 different players had a rushing touchdown. Jalen Hurts, all 3 running backs also had one. Gainwell, Miles Sanders, and Boston Scott. Everybody got invited to the party. And so they spread it around real good there. That RPO and little quick slant to AJ Brown, they're gonna kill boys on that all year long. That's gonna be a freebie. You know what I'm saying? That little RPO action, pull it right back, quick slant to AJ Brown. That's 6 catches at 80 yards a game. Period. every single game. You know it's coming or not, because that's how lethal the run game is with them, and that run threat with Jalen Hurts, because boys know he, you know what I'm saying, it's integral. They want him. He wants to run. So that's going to be wide open all year long. And like I said, man, they sure up that defense. Because like I said, you can't let guys back in the door up 2 touchdowns, especially a team not on the same level as yourself. You got to get that together. But now these Eagles, man, I'm telling you, they keep going this year, man, put it together. They are going to be very dangerous. And so I still like the outlook for them going forward.
Gotcha. And Willie, you pretty much summed it up really good, man. So I'm not gonna,
Oh, yeah, my bad. I ain't really leave you nothing there.
No. Don't apologize, man. If you sum it up good, you sum it up good. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I got you as a partner. You know what I'm saying? You bring that thunder. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that. But the only other thing that I would add to is, you know, in terms of like the Lions, I think their offense matched up well with the Eagles' defense. I think we'll see some better performances out of their defense. Now the run D, they definitely have to improve there. They gave up 181 yards on the ground, but the Detroit Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the league. You know what I'm saying? Across the board. So they weren't able to get as much pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because they're stout up front, and which leaves more time for those receivers to get open, you know. And I don't know if we got a lot of any DBs or wide receivers in there, man. One-on-ones, man, that was the edge always goes a little bit to that wide receiver, because after a certain amount of time, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to cover anybody. You know what I'm saying? So if Jared Goff is protected, man, this team is going to be able to put up some points. So I expect them to be able to do that all year. And then just on the other side, you know, I agree with everything that you said, man. They aren't as clean. And I'm really concerned if Hurts is going to be able to carry the ball 17 times a game. If I'm a coach, that's not what I want to see. I don't want my quarterback carrying the ball 17 times a game when I got 3 more than capable running backs. Now, I get it. He's going to do what he does. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of his game. But I need him to be a little bit cleaner when it comes to passing. You know what I'm saying? He was just over 50%, you know, as far as completion percentage, so he has to get better there. But other than that, man, hey, they got the win. They got the W, and you continue to grow. You continue to build that chemistry for the Eagles, man, and we'll see where they go from there. All right?
Hey, real quick, man, we got a good comment from our dog, man, Skinny, man, Real Deal STL Sports in the building. He said Philly got the best run game in the NFL, man. You agree right now, week 1? You agree?
When you in terms of the combination of different ways that they can run the ball, yes,
hey,
I would say so.
Yeah, and I agree as well. Just like Chop said, man, like you got three capable backs, and you've got with Jalen Hurts brain, man. That's a hard argument against it. It really is.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you look
Baltimore
at it
now. Baltimore ain't got rolling, but Baltimore's gonna be in that same mix. But
no, for sure. Baltimore will definitely be in that same mix. But even with last year, if you watch what they did last year, man, the Eagles, you know, when they started to get it rolling, man, they just brought in some running backs, some backups. You know, think about where these running backs they have on their team, besides Miles Sanders, I would say. But Jordan Howard and all those guys probably wouldn't necessarily have jobs if it wasn't for the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they came in and they can run that ball. You know what I'm saying? With the differences in what they like to do. So Hurts opens up a lot for that run game. So I would agree with that right now. I would agree with that.
For sure. Right, we got a couple other people fell in, man. Shout out to Brother Red, Joseph Kinney in the building, man. Man. No Vultures, the podcast, man. Shout out to my dog, man. Hold it down. Go tap in with him, man. He's in the building. Baby sister came through. QR, what's going on with you? We appreciate the love as always. But yeah, let's go and keep it moving, big dog.
Actually, I think this is a perfect time, Willie Jack. I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, but I'm gonna let everybody know right now. Those who are on Facebook, I got you in a second, Willie Jack. But those who are on Facebook, man, it's time to make that transition, man. It won't be long until we fully on Facebook, and the lives will only be able to be seen on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I need y'all to make that transition. Come on over here. I need y'all to do that. You know what I'm saying? Join us, because you know what I'm saying? We working with you all, making sure we got, you know, everything in place so that everybody can make that transition. Go on over there. Everybody got YouTube, man. Go on over to YouTube and do what you need to do. Willie Jack, go ahead and tell them.
Hey, for sure, man. Y'all heard what he said, man. It's way too many of these daggone Facebook user comments in this thing, man. Look, I got 3 screens up so I can try to make sure I catch all the comments. I ain't missing them, man. Make it easy on us. Make it easy on yourself, man. Come on over to the new crib, man. YouTube, man. We went up to the east side, man. Deluxe apartment and all of that, man. Come over here, come chill with us. We got a good view. cold drinks are still over here. Enjoy yourself like you always do, man. Now, today's episode of Let the Film Speak on YouTube is brought to you by good old friend, man. He ain't with nowhere, been rocking with us from day one, man. Shout out to the three amigos, man. Shout out to the three amigos, man. That's like, that share, subscribe through the hard way, a 3-piece spicy. You cannot go wrong. Now, we always tell y'all, man, it's a 4-part process, man. You tap with three amigos, like, share, subscribe, tell your friend to tell a friend, tell your friend's friend to tell a partner, man, because everybody's invited to come through, come holler at us, tap with three amigos, man, and come kick it with your dogs here and Let the Film Speak. Now, y'all already know, we didn't already told y'all, this ain't the projects no more, big dog. When you come to the crib, you got to holler at the concierge. You got to ring the bell, man. Ring the bell, somebody going to let you in the door. Ring the bell, somebody gonna let you in the door, man. Come over here, like, share, subscribe, man. Pay respect to the three amigos. They've been holding us down a long way for a long time, man. Then holla at the new sponsorship, man. We got Jeffrey at the door. You know what I'm saying? He's waiting for everybody to come in. We got nice stuff in here, man. All you gotta do is ring the bell. Ring the bell, be a part of the crib. Come in here, enjoy yourself, man. Kick it with your folks as always. And now back to the regularly scheduled program. Hold on, man. I know somebody ain't in here talking crazy, talking about they need the link, Chop. Pin the link to the comment, man. What you doing, Chop? Come on, man. Pin the link for somebody. Who is that need the link, man?
All right. I'm going to pin the link for you, man. But also, man, you can go, you can also just type in Let the Film Speak. But I'm going to pin it for you. I got you. Don't even sweat it.
Pin the link. Pin the
Your
link.
boy
man.
got you.
Yeah.
Your boy got you, man. Well, go ahead, man. I'm going to let you take this one first, Willie Jack. The next game, man, we got New England traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins end up coming away with this W, winning this game 20-7. Willie, talk to me about this game, man.
Yeah, and so this one went more so like I expected. I definitely had Miami winning the game, and not even because of the obvious additions they made, but like we were talking about on Sunday, man, Chop Willie in the morning. New England just tends to struggle might be too well. No, I'm gonna say struggle because they like 8-3 in the last 10-11 matches they had down there or something like that. So playing down in Miami just has been an issue for New England in this team. And now you lose a little talent, they gain a lot more talent, and so nothing changed. One thing I will say about this game is that I still don't know how to read how I think this Tua and Tyreek and Waddle situation is really going to play out. I still didn't see. I don't think nobody got that craving satisfied as far as we want to see Tua air that thing out. You know what I'm saying? We're used to 60-yard bombs, man. Tyreek really stretching that thing out and running away from boys, making boys look silly. We still need to see some of that. But man, the weapons and the speed on that team is legit. I mean, we knew that was never in question. Jalen Waddle scores on the touchdown at the left sideline. It wasn't a deep, or it wasn't a super deep pass, a 15 to 20 yard catch.
It was like a maybe like a slant. Honestly, he came from the right side, slanted. He caught it, and he was rolling after that.
And then got a little on the board. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once they really kind of settle into that scheme, new faces, new people are in new places now. Waddle used to be the number one option. Now he's not. He's the number two. So once everything settles down, I'm curious and anxious to see just how explosive that offense could be. But no, I mean, other than that, like I said, the Dolphins handle business as expected. Mac Jones and those guys, they just need weapons. They had a bad break on he threw an interception up the right sideline. It was good coverage. I guess it's one of those balls where you try to just give your guy a chance. Was that Xavier Howard? I believe it was Xavier Howard deflects the ball. Javon Holland gets the interception in the end zone, runs that back for a good 30-35 yards. And so with points being at a premium for New England as they were, they finished that game. They only scored one touchdown. But so they still have a ways to go finding somebody who can push the field or make a play or be explosive. They just don't seem to have anybody that's a real difference maker on that offense, and it showed.
Gotcha. And I'm more to that point, Willie Jack, man. The Patriots, and this, I actually after this game felt a little bit more strong about my prediction of them not winning 6 games. You know what I'm saying? Or only winning 6 games, 6 or less games, because of their offense. You know, the offense, they struggled. There was a lack of explosiveness. You know what I'm saying? That the run game is probably the only thing that they could have going for them. But even in that game, it wasn't going. The run game is going to be what they rely on all year, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where, in my opinion, you no longer have Tom Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time for y'all to make a pick. You know what I'm saying? You either have to start building around this new quarterback that y'all have, you know what I'm saying, or they're gonna be in a position where they're gonna be looking for a new quarterback in a couple years from now, you know what I'm saying, or a year or two. So the Patriots need to change up some stuff. They can't do things the way that they used to and still be successful with this particular these players they have in place. You know what I'm saying? Belichick, I know you have your thing, but in order for y'all to compete, man, this AFC is getting better and better each and every year. Teams are getting better and better.
Loaded.
The game is changing each and every day. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it. Last year, the Patriots in that windy game, man, you won the game with Mac Jones only throwing 3 passes that entire game, and you have the number 1 defense in the league. And guess what happens when you get close to their playoffs? You face Josh Allen in that offense, and they don't punt the whole game. They score a touchdown.
7-on-7. Josh Allen had a 7-on-7 series in New England in the playoffs in the cold.
These teams are a lot better. The league is changing, man, and Patriots need to get with it. You know what I'm saying? They need to make some changes because they don't have a Tom Brady on their team now. You know, you can't do the things you used to. You have to make some changes there. But as far as the Dolphins, man, it was made clear that they're gonna feed Hill, Waddle. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna feed Hill and Waddle early and often. You know what I'm saying? Hill had 12 targets on 8 catches and 90 yards. Waddle was getting targets, and he had a couple carries at the backfield. And I'm just unsure about the defense. The reason I'm unsure is because the offense of the Patriots looks so terrible. So I really don't know what to expect of that defense. We know they got some good cornerbacks, you know what I'm saying, some good DB play. But other than that, I want to see a real test for this Miami Dolphins defense. But as far as the offense, man, it looks like they're going to feed them playmakers and have them make plays. You know what I'm saying? When it came to Chase Edmonds and everybody that they had, Raheem Mostert. He's finally playing and on the field. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Dolphins are going to do. They came out, did it today, you know what I'm saying, and came away with this W, man. They got that W. And as I said before, Patriots, y'all looking like maybe the 3rd best team in your division now. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got the Bills.
They're clear number 3. Yeah, they're clear number 3 right now.
Dolphins just came in and beat y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, I'm looking for some improvement. Bill Belichick, I got faith in you. I think that you still are a good coach, but the times are changing, man. You know, times are changing. Don't be that coach, you know, that stay in your own old ways, because your old ways gonna catch up with you. I guarantee you that, bro. So that's my take on that one. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how, you know, everything plays out in regards to that.
So, no, for sure. Then Jarrell got a foolish question for you, man. I went ahead and pinned it to the screen. He said, when the guy had them picks in, man. Chop, let them know one more time, man, when the guy had them picks in.
Hey, man, I need them picks in today. You know what I'm saying? The first week, because it was the first week, maybe I had a lot going on. Maybe I was moving and grooving, you know what I'm saying, doing a lot of different things. I gave y'all to 11:59, you know what I'm saying, a.m., right before the Sunday game started. You know what I'm saying? I gave y'all to that one. This one, Thursday is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Thursday is tomorrow. And I believe the game is at 7:20. So if I ain't got your picks by 7:19, you know what I'm saying, 7:19 p.m. tomorrow, I'm sorry. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have your picks in. Again, you can send them over to me via Facebook. Even if you want to send them to Willie Jack can forward them over to me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing for him to push a forward.
At your own risk. At your own risk. I'm going to tell y'all right now, man. Hey, y'all better take advantage of Chop while y'all got them, boys. I'm trying to tell you, y'all leave it to Willie Jack, man. A lot of y'all going to be looking around looking lost.
Send me your picks, man. You can send them to me via Facebook, or you can send them to the email. The email is filmtalk247. Filmtalk247@gmail.com, man. Send your picks in. I'm gonna get you locked in, man, and we're gonna go from there. All right.
Hey, shout out to Day One Game Jarrell, man. He said he got a lot going on. He moving his parents right now, man. Hey, man, I just moved myself. I know how stressful and troubling that could be, bro. So hey, man, I feel for you. But I don't want to be there with you, bro. I just came off of it, man. But yeah, man, like Chop said, man, Chop gives y'all up until the minute. You know what I'm saying? Up until the minute before the game kicks off, you can get them picks. So we don't want to hear about no reasons, no excuses why you didn't have them, big dog. You got up until the minute. Kickoff 7:20. Chop told you got 7:19:59. What more do you want from Chop? What else you got to do for you?
7:19:59. That's
59:59. Yeah, man. Hey, Miles Anthony fell in this thing, man. Shout out to my dog, man. He said the Patriots ain't got enough. Man, not at all. $2 a day late and $2 short. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting ugly for them boys, man. But I am curious to see how they respond and how they rebound. I just cannot imagine a world in which Bill Belichick just turns it in and they a 3-4 win team, and I just can't see it. And if it does happen, y'all in trouble, because that means he did it with a purpose. He's going to get the best quarterback in the draft, and then he's right back. So yeah, I can't even trust it, even if that happens.
I got you. All right, man. On to the next game, man. We had the Ravens and the Jets. They square off, man, in New York. Baltimore ends up winning this game 24-9. All right. And I'm gonna say this, man. I thought this game was gonna be a blowout from jump. You know what I'm saying? But this Jets defense, man, they stood strong early, man. They came out, you know what I'm saying? They was playing hard, playing fast. They were sticking boys. Man, the Jordan Whitehead, man. Jordan Whitehead, if you wasn't watching that game, you didn't see the highlights of none of that, man. Go back and watch Jordan Whitehead. Number 3, he's a safety for the Jets, man. He was coming up and landing there, boom. You know what I'm saying? He was coming up and landing there, boom, on some of them cats, man. And he played some really, really good football, man. So go watch him, you know what I'm saying, for the Jets. I know a lot of people don't even like the Jets. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a fan. They're not a fan of it. They don't want to see that type of football. So go watch it, man. That boy was playing some good football. But anyway, like I said, Jets was playing some good football early on, man. And after that, it took a little while for the Ravens to get going, man. The Ravens pass rush got out to Flacco. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that Jets offense wasn't able to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They weren't able to do nothing. And it was because of that pass rush. And not that they sacked them a lot, but they forced a lot of bad decisions. And Joe Flacco, in some certain instances, was just throwing the ball up. You know what I'm saying? But Baltimore ended up getting it together. The game, I wouldn't say their game plan looked different, but the way they won this game looked a lot different than how they usually win it. Usually you see a lot of yards on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They had 63 total yards on the ground this game. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson had to air this ball out. He had to throw it a little bit just to put his team ahead, you know, but they end up coming up with the victory, man. 2 touchdown passes to Duvernay, 1 to Bateman on a deep pass, man, and they come away with this victory. Last thing I want to say, Sauce Gardner he's going to be a star, man. We're looking at somebody who may be a star. Now, me and Willie Jack talked about this. We said watch out for the boy because the boy is nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we were saying, like, Bateman was going to have trouble. We're going to have trouble this game. What they actually did was in certain situations, not the whole game, certain situations and certain downs, they put him on Mark Andrews. And we seen Mark Andrews wasn't able to do nothing with Sauce Gardner on him, man. So that's another guy with the Jets on the Jets deep, one of the Jets DBs. Go watch him, man. Sauce Gardner is nice, man. And you got to be nice anyway if your name is Sauce. So go check them boys out, man. I gave you 2 names to watch out for in this Jets defense, man. Jordan Whitehead and Sauce Gardner, man. Them guys are playing some good ball.
No, and just like Chop said, man, the Jets definitely made Baltimore earn it, man. Especially made them earn it in the early going. Now Lamar, once he did get going, not a tremendous stat day. I think I had it pulled up as well. Just over 200 yards. He did end up throwing 3 touchdowns, and there was a little error on those touchdowns. And if Kendall was in here, if Black was in here, because I seen him post on his own page, he wants Lamar to get his credit. He wants everybody to give Lamar his credit, man, for throwing touchdowns in the air, touchdowns that travel a little bit in the air, man. I'm like, look, man, come on, man. You want participation trophies? The boys back, man. We ain't gonna celebrate because he threw a 20-yard you know what I'm saying? But I get where he's coming from, man. So for a guy that's as criticized or critiqued as heavily as Lamar is on his, I guess on the validity of his level of quarterback play. So Kendall Gilliard and give you a shout out, man, being a Ravens fan, it was extremely, I guess, pleased him throwing touchdown passes as opposed to running them. But no, just like Chop said, man, other than that, just got a lot of work to do. You're playing with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco threw 60 passes in this game. If you tell me Joe Flacco had to throw 60 passes in his prime, that's never a good thing. So he throws 60 passes. Just doesn't get much of anything going. Michael Carter had a decent game on the ground. He had a big run that probably carried most of his status, but still 19 carries, somewhere around 50, 60 yards. But yeah, just like you said, man, Sauce is going to be a problem. Well, now it's 1 weekend, But like I said, this is a good week to build on. You know what I'm saying? This is a good foundation to build on. Lining up, and then when you got the call, when you got the assignment to try to erase one of the premier top 2 tight end in this league, you know what I'm saying? He was up to it. So his arrow can only be pointing up. You know what I mean? So it is going to be exciting to see him. Just like I said, Jordan Whitehead was out there. Roger Boyd's rent. You know what I'm saying? Rent came due. Rent came due. You feel me? Yeah, he was out there getting the boys' chest. You know, we love to see that. But other than that, man, curious to see how this Ravens team continues to progress. Lamar, with the contract situation, as the season wears on, your body feels good now. You're maybe not so much concerned. Let's wait about week 7, week 8. You know what I'm saying? Now your body's starting to feel some of those bumps and bruises. Does he feel a little different? Does he play a little different? Does he play a little more tentative now? Because they ain't no long money. And now your body's banged up and you're feeling those hits. Now you got to think about them. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see how this whole saga with the Ravens and Lamar, how it really plays out throughout this season. If we see him kind of turn it in a little bit because he's playing the long game. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a real thing. We've heard Brandon Marshall talk about that when he was going through his contract troubles with the Broncos. When also he had some mental health stuff going on, but he had a breakdown running out the tunnel because he was scared about going to play because ain't no money tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? There's no his future's unset and unstable, and so I'm just curious to see how that plays out. But yeah, we talked about that one too long, man. My bad, but now, like I said, Lamar and the boys handle business like they needed to.
Gotcha. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the Jaguars. They go to Washington to take on the Commanders, and the Commanders came away with the W, man. They won this game 28-22. Willie, what happened here, man?
I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. What game did you just call up?
The Jaguars and the Commanders.
Oh, yeah, so Jaguars and the football team. So this was probably the game I was least excited to see. And I'm not going to lie. I'm looking through the slate of games. And I think when we was talking on Chop Willie in the morning, I think I said this one was a game that ain't nobody cared, man. Shout out to Primetime. Ain't nobody cared. I was just least excited to see this game. And I'm double checking now out of games on the docket that we had Sunday. And I really was. And I'm not going to talk too long about this one. I do want to say Carson Wentz is a mixed bag. And that's what he's been. Even in his time in Philly when he was at his best, it was always a little bit of a mixed bag. And then, like I said, you get hot and you got a little more good. The good starts to outweigh the bad. But so you've got 4 touchdowns, you got 2 interceptions. You know what I mean? So he'll make a throw or 2 or several throws. You're like, oh, okay, we got one. Here he is. He's back. And then he'll throw a bonehead one. You know what I mean? Because the interceptions, one of them in particular was just ugly. Like, man, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, man, Jahan Dotson. Now the yardage wasn't crazy, but he did have 2 touchdowns. I was talking to somebody, I think, show they were telling me that reports were saying that Jahan Dotson was more impressive than even Scary Terry in training camp and etc. I had to tell whoever that was, pump your brakes, you know, so don't get to tripping. But no, man, he came out. He only had 3 catches, 2 of them were touchdowns, and so I am going to have my eye on him now, though, because I do want to see just how he plays and how he's progressing. He's a guy that I was pretty low on coming into the draft. I really wasn't understanding the kind of first round buzz he was getting. Then he does go in the first round. He went before before Buddy from Alabama, J-Mo. He went before Jameson Williams. You know what I'm saying? He went before Quincy Olave. You know what I'm saying? He went right after Garrett Wilson. This is the second receiver drafted in the draft, Jahan Dotson. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I didn't see it, but like I said, man, when you write, when I'm right, I make sure y'all know I'm right. And the same thing, man, it's a little early to say I'm wrong on him, but if the early indication is, man, he may be a player, man. So I'm excited to keep watching him. On the other side of that, the only thing I'm gonna say about Jacksonville, and I know it's still early, I know it's still premature, but much like I was talking about when these quarterbacks are all coming into the year last year, I just don't see special when I see Trevor Lawrence. And so, now mind you, this isn't an uber talented team. Christian Kirk got busy though. Christian Kirk got plenty of targets. He's definitely the go-to guy. So Jacksonville is using that money. You know what I'm saying? Like they went out, they paid, they brought him there, and his target share is saying that this is exactly why they brought him here. They brought him here to be the go-to guy, the comfortable soft target for Trevor Lawrence as a young guy. So he's his security blanket, and he used him early and often. I think he finished with 12 or 14 targets, 8 or 9 or 10 catches, 100 and some odd yards. And so he's definitely the guy. So curious to see, how they grow and how they progress. But I'm just got to tell you, I'm just waiting to see I'm just waiting to see what it was that had folks calling Trevor Lawrence generational. Because that's where I thought, not to say that he wasn't talented, not that he can't be great, but generational. I just didn't see. I didn't see Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? I compared him to a lesser Cam Newton because of the offense he was in, and the way he progresses and really plays off of that RPO. But I just didn't see it. I'm still waiting to see it. And so the good thing about that is I'm a big fan of his coach. I like what that coach did in Philly with Carson Wentz, who we're talking about on the other side of that sideline there. Like what he did, what he got out of him, getting Nick Foles. Nick Foles is a Super Bowl legend now because I can't even think the coach's name right now. Help me out, Chop, if you got it. But so I'm curious to see what he gets out of Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson. Thank you. So Trevor Lawrence is in great hands. And so if it's in there, Doug Peterson will bring, you know what I'm saying? So I do want to see it, but I'm still waiting to see the special. I'm just still waiting on that. But yeah, no. The football team got to win. And man, I gave them too much. I gave this game too much time talking already.
He said, "I'm gonna keep it short," and then he kept going.
I meant
where's Jarrell at, man? Where's Jarrell? We can get this Willie Long win back going, man. Willie Long win in the building.
I had to find something to talk about. I wasn't excited about that game at all. I had to find something else to talk about.
It's all good, man. All good. But you know what? A little bit more on the Jaguars too. I will say that compared to what I've seen from them last year, I think they looked a little bit better. I think they played cleaner football than I've seen from them last year. The run game looked a lot better between with a healthy James Robinson and a healthy Travis Etienne. Looks like they're going to have that more so of a combo. James Robinson might be the guy that carries the load a little bit more as far as the carries, and Etienne comes in and gives you more of that change of pace. You know, that guy that can get in the slot, that guy that can catch the ball at the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Who can run outside. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he can run in between the tackles as well, but he's more so that Swiss Army knife. If you remember, I'm pretty sure everybody remembers, you know, how effective Ingram and Kamara was. You know,
that's actually a pretty good comparison. That's actually a pretty good comparison.
So bro. I know people remember how good they were. So, you know, that's what they're hoping that they got in those two guys. And as far as Washington, man, I'm going to say this. I know we weren't excited about this particular game. All right. Hashtag WLW. I'm rolling with it. Willie Long win in the building. But as far as this Washington Commanders team goes, I think they're going to be fun to watch. Okay. One, like you said, Jahan Dotson, they bring him in. Looks like he's going to be, if the week one is an indication of what it's going to be all season, looks like he'll be the perfect pairing with Scary Terry. Then you throw in the Swiss Army knife that is finally healthy for them, and Curtis Samuel, who got a lot of action in this particular game. They look really explosive. And then you add that with, I don't care what they talk about in the preseason. Antonio Gibson was there in this game. You know what I'm saying? And not only did he run the ball pretty well, but also he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He played wide receiver at Memphis, you know what I'm saying, college. So he has that skill set. And then last but not least, to bring it all together, you got a quarterback that's going to push the ball, who's not scared to push it downfield, to, you know what I'm saying, to take those shots, take those chances, and let them players go up and do their thing. And if those wide receivers are as good as a lot of people think they are, they're going to make a lot of those plays. And a lot of times they can make Carson Wentz look a lot better than what we've kind of seen the last few years from him. So I'm actually excited just to see them play this year, just to see what they look like and see them boys go out there and try to make some plays. So, you know, so we'll see what happens in the future for them and next week. So, you know, we'll kind of go from there. All right.
Gotcha.
Comments. We got hot and cold wins. Skinny said hot and cold wins. You're exactly right, man.
That's exactly it,
yeah. So that's what you're going to get. On to the next game, man. We got the payback game. What it was supposed to be, the payback game. And we had Cleveland. They go to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. Let me make sure I clear that up. And Cleveland ends up winning this game, man. 26-24 and a close one. All right. And my first thoughts, man, was when the game first started. My first thoughts was Baker was who I thought he was. You know what I mean? Like, Willie knows I wasn't as high on Baker Mayfield, you know, at all. So he started to look like that from the jump. And I'm like, oh, man, I done got hype. I done picked him to win this game and everything. And this guy out here throwing interceptions. He missing open receivers. You know, three fumbled snaps, 3 of them. You know what I mean? But then he was able to settle down, get his team back in the game, and they had a real shot. They actually went ahead in this game. If it wasn't for Carson Wentz hitting Scary Terry down the sideline, you know what I mean, we could be talking the other way about the outcome of this game. But
wrong game, bro. Carolina and Cleveland. You said Carson Wentz.
I did. My bad. I'm sorry. You're right. My bad. You're right. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, Baker Mayfield ended up settling in, and once he settled in, he started to make some of those plays. He made a lot of plays. He hit Ryan Anderson on Robbie Anderson with an IE now because he switched his name on a deep pass up the middle of the field. Christian McCaffrey, they didn't use him as much. You know, I'm curious to see if they're going to use him a lot more next game, but they didn't use him as much this game, so we'll see how that kind of pans out. But I also think Baker Mayfield is not a check down quarterback. He's always looking to take that shot. So I don't think Christian McCaffrey will get the same amount of targets he used to get, you know, when he was fully healthy. On the other side of it, man, the Browns, they did what we expected them to do, you know, as far as trying to win this game, and they controlled it with the run game. It was Chubb, Hunt, and defense. 217 total yards rushing. Chubb had 141. Hunt had a rushing TD and a receiving TD, and the defense just held the Panthers until late in the third quarter. You know what I mean? The defense did a great job. Those defensive backs did great. Myles Garrett got a chance to sack his old teammate a couple times, so they were doing some good things. For the most part, Jacoby Brissett looked like the quarterback that I thought he was going to look like until the last drive where he made a couple key throws, and the kicker ended up hitting a 50-something yarder, 59-yarder to win the game. All right, and I'm going to throw something at you, Willie Jack, real quick.
All right.
The Browns drafted this kicker in a 4th round, right? Why don't you see more of that in the draft? Because here's my thought on it. You look at Evan McPherson last year. The Bengals don't go to the Super Bowl if he don't make them kicks. You look at this particular game here. He nailed a 59-yarder to win that game, and they drafted him in the 4th round to be that kind of a difference maker. If a lot of times in the 4th round on after you draft them players that are really kind of fighting for a roster spot, why not go ahead and get that kicker if it's one available, of course, that kicker that will really make your team that much better, and when it's close game situations can get you 3 extra wins, you know what I'm saying, in that maybe in the 4th or 5th round. Why don't you see other teams doing that, man?
Well, and us, it will, because for one thing, it's just kind of like you said, there's not enough of those guys that are truly that can truly separate themselves. Everybody can't beat Justin Tucker. You know what I'm saying? And so there's just not enough of those guys. And then much like you said anyway, even with a guy like Evan McPherson, he didn't show up Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like he could have won that game and put that game away. Now, all right, now the snapper got changed down, so the speed of the snap is a little different. Minka blocks it because he's Minka. The other one, the snap's a little high, so they don't spin the laces, and it's a 30-yard, which should be a 30-yard chip shot. It sails wide left, and so there's still. I just don't know if you can value, because in the 4th round, you got the starters are still found in the 4th round now. So I don't want us. The 4th round isn't necessarily the 6th round. You know what I'm saying? And not to say the starters aren't found all throughout, because we know there are, but I'm talking like quality starters can be found in the fourth round. So the 4th round is where you may draft, let's say, your 3rd wide receiver. Well, now think about it. He's the 3rd string receiver, but 80% of all offensive sets are 3 receiver sets. So your 3rd receiver is a starter. That's a starter in the 4th round you can get. You know what I'm saying? You may get your 3rd defensive end. Well, let's think about that as well. You got 2 defensive ends. In most defense, you want to keep some style of rotation. So now your 3rd defensive end, you know what I'm saying? He plays valuable snaps, or he may be a part of your 3rd down package. And 80% of defenses are in nickel 60% of the time. And so now your nickel defensive end rusher, who's the 3rd guy on the depth chart, well, now he plays 60% of your snaps. He's a starter. You know what I mean? So there's still positional value and overall impact that has to be taken into account. And because the other thing about the kicker, and why it's always just as much as you love him is why you hate him as well, is because no one, you don't plan on a kicker is almost a concession that we couldn't get it done. Or at least that's how I always feel about it. And I've mostly played defense. So even in my mind, if we got to kick it, it's because the offense failed. And so you're always looking, we're not looking for ways not to lose. We need weapons to win. And so I think that mindset, give me an extra receiver. Give me an extra defensive end. Give me an extra corner. Somebody could take it away. So we're looking at ways to really attack, as opposed to a guy who, an excellent kicker. And I said this in the conversation before when we were talking about the greatness of Justin Tucker. An excellent kicker, Justin Tucker. A great game for Justin Tucker. He touches the ball 3 times. You know what I'm saying? 3 times in the space of a whole game. You know what I'm saying? And another thing about kickers, I'm getting too long in these kickers, man. What are you doing to me today? What are you doing? I'm going to end and say this. There's not enough guys that truly differentiate themselves at this level in the pros. For me, anything under 50 should be automatic. If complete, no question. I don't want to hear any reason or excuse for missing anything under 50 at this level. Everything under 50 should be automatic. So now we're talking about guys that could truly differentiate themselves and be consistent from 50 plus. In these days, the way these boys' legs is getting, 50 might not even be enough now. It might need to get to 55. You got to hit 50. You got to hit 55 and then consistently. And then the guy who can be a difference maker from 55 to 60. That group is still pretty slim and pretty small. That group is Justin Tucker. It is Evan McPherson. It is Chris Boswell. It is maybe it is this young guy with the Browns. And so if you've got a very specific like weapon like that, maybe then you go get them. But that'll never, the need for that or desire for that will never outweigh, I don't think, the chance to get someone else who can really affect the game more consistently or more on a down and down out basis than an actual skill position.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, Willie Jack, you got any take on this game?
Oh, my fault.
No, you good.
Yeah.
I asked you a question. No.
Yeah, no, my fault. But no, so for one, and you know what, Skinny in here said Brisket made 0 mistakes. Man, we looked at a different game. Well, and you know what? Mistakes may be, I guess let's use mistakes subjectively, because I don't think he actually turned the ball over, if I'm remembering right. He didn't have any fumbles or interceptions, right? I don't believe.
No interceptions or fumbles. No.
Okay, yeah. So the stat sheet was clean as far as 0 mistakes, but there's plays he left on the field. And so like not having, and this always takes me, this type of conversation always takes me back to my take on Alex Smith, where a clean stat sheet isn't a mistake-free game. Like missed opportunities, like throws are just errant throws that stall or end drives, even though it's not an interception, you stalled or ended a drive where a competent quarterback makes that throw or makes that right read or makes that right throw and read on time, and now the drive keeps going and we eventually score. And so things like that necessarily don't show up on the stat sheet as far as you know what I'm saying, as far as like mistakes go, those are still like areas of, this game didn't have to be as close as it was. They didn't have to need a damn near 60-yard field goal from a 4th round rookie kicker to get away and steal this win. You know what I'm saying? So so that for me, I think is troubling. Like if they've got to go 11 games without Deshaun, man, 500. Well, there's no 500, of course, because it's 11 games is an odd number unless they get a draw or whatever. But for all intents and purposes, 500 doesn't seem likely to me at all. I mean, like now, just like Chop said, that defense is stout. That defense, man, is stacked on just about every single level. The softest level they have is that second level, and you still got a very talented JOK, Orusu Koromora. I've been working on these names, Chop. You still got him at that second line as that second line defender, and he's one of them ones, or he looks to be like he's going to be one of them ones. He's a real difference maker. But I don't like the other guys that got inside rotating around with them. But on the front line and in that back end, them boys is just as talented and is just as deep as anybody across the league. And then for me, I love watching Nick Chubb run the ball, dog. It's just something about that man is a runner. He's a runner. He's a bull. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just, as soon as he gets the ball, he's taking like these big, sturdy ass steps. But them hoes is moving though. It's these big ass, sturdy ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude is moving, man. I just enjoy watching him run. He's still my favorite runner in the league, man. If I just got to do nothing else but turn around and hand the ball to somebody in this league, I want that guy to be Nick Chubb if it's me. I still do. You know what I'm saying? I just still do. You know what I'm saying? But so I just love watching him run. And just like Chop said, man, ain't nothing you can do with them boys, man. When they got it going, him and Kareem Hunt, man, they both play so well. Kareem Hunt is always still in the finish points of Chubb because I got Chubb and Kareem Hunt got the damn touchdowns, but it's all good. But yeah, man, no, I love watching them run. But honestly, like I said, I'm worried about if I'm a Browns about these next 10 weeks. I'm worried about these next 10, man, because what I saw from Jacoby, I didn't like at all. You know what I'm saying? It almost put me in the mind of how poorly I feel that Mr. Trubisky played. He didn't throw any interceptions. You know what I'm saying? So there was, it was a clean stat sheet, but it was an ugly ball. You know what I'm saying? It was some ugly ball out there, man. So curious to see just how they shake out and where this team is sitting when Deshaun comes back.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Let's keep on pushing, man. Let's go to this game. Now, this game turned out to be one of the games I cared the least about. You know what I'm saying? It was Indianapolis going to Houston, and this game ended in a 20-20 tie. A 20-20 tie. All right. Now let's go into this, man. Going into this season, you look at the Indianapolis Colts and they bring over Matt Ryan, and we automatically, we didn't assume, but we thought that okay, bringing over Matt Ryan, it should make the team better. And
I assumed. I thought this was going to cure all their ills.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. They brought him over because they wanted to take the next step. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to get to the playoffs. They wanted to try to make that run, kind of like we talked about on Sunday morning on Chop Willie in the morning. Mm-hmm. But in this particular game, I saw some things that made me start to wonder, like, hey, man, I don't know. I don't know, man. So Houston started off strong, but the Colts finished strong. It was a tale of two halves. The first half was Houston's half. The second half was the Colts' half. Mm-hmm. And to me, honestly, looking at the teams, watching the entire game, neither team looked more superior than the other. You know what I mean? Like, I can't if these players had no numbers, no names on their jerseys, I wouldn't be able to tell you who was the better team. You know what I mean?
Very well
said. In this game. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it looked like towards the end of this game, which is very disappointing if you're the Colts. You're talking about a Houston team that was one of the worst teams in the league. They ended up what draft pick did they have? 3, 4, something like that. And you're talking about a team that potentially was a playoff team that can make a run. You know, with a playoff team, if you're thinking about the team that they have and all the pieces that they have, and they just came out and they laid an egg, man. They laid an egg. The only guy that looked pretty good was Jonathan Taylor. 31 carries, 161 yards, and a touchdown. They fed him like they're supposed to do, but it was something that was lacking within this offense. You know what I'm saying? It was the explosiveness. It was the down the field kind of passing that kept this team from doing what they're supposed to do. Because, like I said, Jonathan Taylor ran the ball pretty well, you know, and they were moving the chains, but they were slowly. They were methodical. They weren't moving in big chunks. They didn't have any of those big plays. They didn't have, and I don't know, Willie Jack, maybe it's me, but it's something about when Matt Ryan gets to that goal line or close inside the 10, him passing the ball for touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's a reason why you can pretty much book it. He's going to get either 26 or 28 touchdowns at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to light it up touchdown-wise. That's just him. Because maybe inside the goal line, it just seems like he's not able to find this guy and able to hit his guy and not able to convert it or do what the better quarterbacks in the league are able to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing with him that I don't know. Maybe I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think ain't no way Kyle Pitts coming away with a one touchdown after the entire season. One touchdown. You're talking about your starting tight end, a tight end that is a mismatch for anybody that's checking him. I run a 4.4. I'm 240 pounds, 250 pounds. You know what I mean? I'm 6'6". I'm a mismatch for whoever's guarding me. It don't matter who's guarding me.
Nobody else out here to throw the ball to.
There's nobody to throw the ball to, and you mean to tell me I get one touchdown on the year? It's got to be something else to that. And then I know we talked about Julio before. Julio is always racking up the yards, but he wasn't a big touchdown guy. He didn't get in the zone a lot. So I don't know, man. I'm starting to wonder, man. We're gonna see how this season goes, but you gotta punch it in. You gotta be more effective. And then last but not least, man, on Houston's side, Houston, they like I said, they look good in the first half. But this overtime, come on, Lovie Smith. I'm rooting for you, Lovie Smith. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a fan of Lovie Smith because he was the defensive coordinator of the Rams. We won that Super Bowl in '99. You know what I'm saying? So you always got a special part in my heart. Always got a special spot in my heart. But come on, man. It's 4th and 3. You in overtime. It's 30 seconds left. You at around the 50-yard line. And you mean to tell me you going to punt and shoot for the ball? You shoot for
play for the tie. Playing for the tie.
I don't know what to say. That's that's inexcusable, man. And you gotta play with some guts, man. You gotta play. You gotta drop. One of the podcasts I watch a lot, man. They say you gotta drop your onions, man. You gotta some onions. You gotta drop your onions, my man.
Hey, I ain't heard that.
You gotta drop your onions, man. You gotta make that call.
You gotta drop them. You gotta drop them. Let them go. I wasn't ready for dropping onions though. But no, it's really said, man. Scared to lose, man. Scared to lose. Some people, like I said, you either fighting to win or you scared to lose. You know what I'm saying? You playing not to lose, and that was a clear example of that. And especially because what's your outlook on the season, Lovie Smith? Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all aren't, and like I said, just assumption, and they don't feel this in their own locker room. But you've got to have some style of self-awareness. We're not a championship level team. Wins for us are gonna be tough to come by, and so we don't have the luxury of playing for that tie. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't now. Green Bay got waxed, and I'm sure we'll get to them. But it's not like Green Bay had an ugly game and they just trying to get out there and steal a tie because they know they got bigger fish to fry. Man, we still a 13-win team at the end of the season. Don't matter. We just can't trick this one off. We don't want the AO to show up in the number 1 seeding. You knocked that, my boy. What Chop just told y'all had the top 3 pick in this year's draft, and it don't look like y'all gonna get outside the top 10 this year. You got to play to win that game. And we saw another example of that, and we'll get to it later on down the street as well. So I ain't gonna bring it up now, but we'll come back to that. Playing scared to lose, and Lovie Smith is a veteran coach, a veteran guy. So he's been around this league. He knows how valuable and how opportune and how hard it is to get these things. And I really wish we could have saw him take a chance there, for right, wrong, or other. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't get it, and like I said, but I guess if you value that tie, I don't want no ties. I had a tie last year and it pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we tied the Lions with Mason Rudolph, mind you. But still, we had a tie on a game that, like I said, man, give me the L because that tie just feels ugly. Good comment, man.
Real.
Huh?
I said, ain't no ties in competition, man. We competing. I ain't
man, exactly. I gotta know. I gotta know one way or the other. I don't want to. I want to know one way or the other. I beat you or you beat me, for better or worse. I want to know one way or the other. Exactly. But we got a good comment, man, from Day One Game. Man, he said, "Don't we have to give the Colts the same grace that we give the Broncos for getting a new quarterback?" That was an excellent comment, Jarrell. Excellent comment. You go ahead and attack it first.
I'm gonna tell you like this. This is the best way I can explain it because I know this is something we can all relate to. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we gotta give them the grace, but at the same time, that don't mean I ain't disappointed. You know what I'm saying? You remember when your mom say, I ain't mad at you.
Next week.
I'm disappointed. You know what I'm saying? When your mom say, I'm disappointed in you. You know what I'm saying? Because she know you can do better. That's the whole reason your mom said that to you, because she know you can do better. And that's all I'm saying. I know that the Colts can be better. So I'm upset at them. I'm upset because y'all supposed to do better in this game. Y'all supposed to look like the more superior team. And like I said, nobody looked more superior. We'll get to the Broncos and Seahawks game, but yes, the same thing. Y'all supposed to do better. Y'all got all these pieces, you know what I'm saying? And this is just what you're supposed to do better.
I didn't say their name. We ain't got to them yet. But yeah, that's what I was talking about as well. We're going to get to.
But no, get to them. You know what I'm saying? So.
But no, I think Chop hit all the key points on that one, man. So I'm just going to be short and quick. But just like Chop said, I do think, and I'm glad you reminded us at Jarrell, because I was probably going to take a more harsher tone on this than I probably should, because we do owe them that grace. Because that's the whole thing I was saying about Russell Wilson leading up to this thing. Because Chop told y'all they coming out the gate, they winning that division. I was like, man, we got to pump our brakes a little bit, man. There is some adjustment. You got to get into the flow of things. And so you're right. Or at least myself, I owe that same leeway or grace to Matt Ryan. But just like Chop was saying, though, man, I just still wanted to see more. You know what I'm saying? I'm just disappointed in what I saw. You know what I'm saying? But like we just said, man, these things don't just happen in the vacuum, man. It's not mad when you just plug them in and you keep running the same plays you was running. Don't matter who you subbed in. It's not how it works. And so it does have to work itself out. Jonathan Taylor, looks great. You know what I'm saying? Looks amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, just like Chop said, there weren't no free. Well, none of them free. An 80-yard run is earned. You know, well, most times. Sometimes defense just blows one and you just take advantage. But those plays are earned as well. But it is refreshing to see that he took 31 count. That's a grown man game. That's old school grown man game. Ain't too many. When's the last time? I would imagine we can count between our two hands because it's a whole league. I'm talking all 32 teams last year. I wonder how many single backs got more than 30 carries last season as a whole season. I don't know if there was 10. I don't know if there's 10 guys that had any one game last season where they had more than 30 carries. I'm not talking even combined touches.
I'm with you on that.
You feel me? Bro, this ain't Emmitt Smith. This ain't old school Jerome Bettis. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Barry getting fed like that. This ain't Eric Dickerson. This ain't that. So getting that style of load and then still putting up the yardage you did. I think he had like 140 yards. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't one of those games where the guy had 28 carries and then he finished with 100 yards because he broke off one for 60. You know what I'm saying? No, this wasn't that. He went the long, slow way every time and still put up a very consistent average on all those carries. You know what I'm saying? So that in and of itself just is an impressive performance for him, man. The best back in the league right now today. Not necessarily my favorite back, but best back. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. I just really like Nick Chubb. I just feel like that boy he out there running, just looking for just who out here like he just looking to punish somebody. I feel like.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a new man that's gonna take that title out this season, and we finna get to him right now. I'm finna talk to y'all. I already put it out there. You know what I'm saying? But we finna talk about it right now. We had the Giants, man. They go to Tennessee and they upset the Titans, man. They win this game 21-20. Willie Jack, I know you was a little excited about this because you've been telling people that Tennessee wasn't gonna be about nothing this year anyway.
Oh, that's a fact.
But I need you to explain it to me. Talk to me, man.
And so, and you know what? And I know you got bigger fish to fry, man. I'm gonna let you have your moment. You know, so I'm gonna let you have your moment. And so yeah, man. So like I said, this is gonna be a down year for Tennessee. I really believe that. And like I said, even deeper still than that AJ Green move, which was still atrocious. I'm never gonna forget him for that. I'm not letting it go. That AJ Brown move, they should have got the whole front office fired. Anybody, secretaries on down, anybody who was associated with that move should have been let go from their services. Should no longer have been required in Nashville, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? But now, yeah, apart from that, I'm not gonna talk about the Giants. Apart from that, yeah. Oh, now another part of my prediction as well. I told y'all now. I don't know if Derrick Henry get 1,000, boy, he's gonna with his pinky finger. Comparison wise to what we just said about Jonathan Taylor, I got his stats here: 21 for 82, so just under 4 yards a carry, no touchdowns, and he actually had a long of 18. So these are the stats I'm reading for Derrick Henry, and he also lost a fumble. I was telling y'all this whole offseason, that offensive line ain't the same, man. That offensive line is different. That offensive line, they got a little older. They still got Tyler Lewan, who was the leader and the longtime stalwart for that line. He regressed or took a step back last year, and he's getting a little older. Now he's back. There's a lot of new faces in new places. You don't have AJ Green to help alleviate any of that congestion in the box. And like I said, all you've got is Derrick Henry, a beat up or underperforming line, and then you got Ryan Tannehill. You know what I'm saying? And so the way this game went is a microcosm for me of how I expect the Tennessee season to go. It's going to be a lot of trying to ground and pound Derrick Henry, and if he don't pop one and they don't jump on boys right out the gate, then they in for it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, I try to keep telling y'all, man, y'all better tune in Wednesdays at 7, Sundays before the game, Chop Willie in the morning, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, let y'all know something, man. But yeah, go ahead talk to us about SB, man. Go ahead and talk to us about your dog, man.
Okay. I got you. Let me. I'm just gonna put a real quick bow on Tennessee, real quick, man. The thing with Henry, that what I've seen, it looks like he's still getting back into his full form from the injury. It doesn't look like he's hurting or anything, but you got to find a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? You got to find your rhythm, and it doesn't look like he's found that rhythm yet. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be fine. You know, as he continues to go, and he's one of those guys too. It takes him a little bit to get going anyway. You know what I'm saying? Once he gets going, though, that's when it's
down. Like I said, he pounds and pounds and pounds until you break, and then he's still trucking. Yeah.
For sure. So that's what we're looking for. And Tennessee actually started out this game kind of strong. And a couple of those possessions only ended in field goals, but they were up 13-0 at half. You know what I'm saying? They were up 13-0 at half, and then second half, man, that's when the Barkley show started. You know what I'm saying? That's when my dog came out. Now, for those who don't know, right? For those who don't know, let me give y'all a little bit of context. I am a Saquon Barkley fan. My wife is a Saquon Barkley fan. You know what I'm saying? We fans of Saquon Barkley. Me and Willie Jack, I'm not going to get into the argument because I swear we'll be on here for 3 more hours.
Don't
me and Willie Jack
can
touch this. But me and him will argue back and forth, you know what I'm saying, about Saquon and about Christian McCaffrey and, you know, things like that. And we would go back and forth a lot. But needless to say, I'm not going to say, but I am a Saquon Barkley fan, and it was a joy to see him back fully healthy, a year and a half removed, you know what I'm saying, from that big injury that he had. And man, he looks exactly like he did when he first came into the league. You know what I'm saying? I got a glimpse of that Penn State Saquon Barkley, man, where he breaking out those long runs, making those cuts at 230 pounds, using that power, putting his shoulder on people, you know what I'm saying? And really took over this game. And when I was explaining the game on Chop Willie in the morning, Willie Jack, as much as I was talking about it, Willie Jack thought I was gonna go ahead and pick the Giants, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man, because it's the Giants.
Put the money on the line, boy. You back off.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it, but it was a reminder, man, that I'm gonna go ahead and go with my gut from here on out. So you ain't gotta worry about me next time. Next time you hear me talking about it, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that trigger. You know what I'm saying? But without going back into my point, he started to do things that we used to see him do, and that triggered other players to kind of step up. First of all, foremost, Barkley almost had 200 yards from scrimmage, and then Danny Dimes hits Sterling Shepard on a long pass, you know what I'm saying, to like a 68-yard touchdown. You know what I'm saying? They put them right back in the game. They tie the game. Tennessee actually goes back ahead with Hilliard, their backup running back. They hit him on a pass for a touchdown, but then the Giants come back down with their last drive, the last minute drive, you know what I'm saying? And it was about a minute left, and they end up punching it in, or not necessarily punching it in, but a few plays throughout a few different players. They end up doing a play action, throw a touchdown pass to the tight end, and everybody probably thinking like, hey, they finna tie this game up. It's a minute left. They're gonna go ahead and kick this field goal. Nah, Brian Dable say, look, it's a new sheriff in town. I don't know what coaches y'all used to having, you know what I'm saying? But this Brian Dable.
I don't know what y'all used to do. I don't know what y'all
used to do. But this ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Brian Dable comes in. He say, look, now this is one guy who say, look, I'm dropping these onions. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping mine. You can keep yours. You know what I'm saying? I can keep yours. The grapes. I'm dropping mine. You know what I'm saying? He goes for the 2-point conversion to go for the win. And they do a little shovel pass to Saquon Barkley, makes a move, puts his shoulder down, gets into the end zone, man. And the celebration beginning from there. The Tennessee Titans actually had a chance to go in and come back and win this game. They get in field goal position. They missed the field goal. Giants end up winning this game, man. So hard-fought game. But if Saquon Barkley continues this, he's the type of player that can change games in this way. You know what I'm saying? He's a game changer. You know what I'm saying? So as long as he can stay healthy and continue to do what he does, you know what I'm saying, he can change some of those games and turn 3 wins into 5. You know what I'm saying? 5 or 6 wins, you know what I'm saying, as long as they're able to put everything together. So we'll see, you know what I'm saying, how this team looks throughout the rest of the season. But hey, I'm gonna enjoy this one because I enjoy my dog, seeing my dog going back out there, you know what I'm saying, doing what he used to do. So I love that one, man, for sure.
And it was good to see him play well and get out of there healthy, you know what I'm saying? So, and just like Chop said, man, we've had our battles with Saquon, and I don't want it to get misconstrued. I'm a fan of Saquon's. I want him to do well. I believe. No, he didn't come up with J.K. Dobbins. Who was the other runner? There was another. I believe he was my.
He came out with Chubb. Came out in that draft. Chubb came out in that draft.
Chubb, there we go.
Saquon Barkley.
Chubb was Alvin Kamara in that draft as well out of Tennessee, and yeah. But anyway, but no. So the knock. Well, I ain't gonna get into that, man. But no. Sorry, I do want him to do well. With the point where I was going to get distracted talking about his history and him coming in. I caught myself. But I do want to say I am happy to see him perform well, and he is a guy, man. He's got all the tools, man. And so that's never been, I guess, in doubt. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the explosiveness. You know what I'm saying? So it's not only just put it all together, but man, staying on the field. Like I said, it's hard to count injuries against a guy. Nobody plans on getting injured. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, and he's made it a point. I think I talked about it last week. If you watch the Pivot podcast, he had a great interview on there. He hears that noise. he's embraced that noise, and he is making it a point to keep that chip on his shoulder, and he's making it a point to make everybody who says something against him eat their words. And so, and this Sunday was his first step in doing that, and he did well. I want to highlight a comment by our dog Skinny Man. Shout out to Real Deal STL in the building, as always. Very ballsy coaching by Brian Daboll and those Giants. And then I heard on another, I don't know if it's another podcast or just another sports TV show, but they said that before Daboll made that call to go for 2, that he went up to like 4 or 5 or 6 of the key defensive guys, some leaders on the defensive team, and kind of asked them. Now, I don't know if realistically, if they said no, if he'd have changed his mind and not went for 2, but they said he came to them like, hey, I'm thinking about going forward here. What y'all think? Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Hey, how y'all feel? Y'all got me? You know what I'm saying? So just getting those guys involved, just like Chop said, like letting everybody know, like, nah, man, however y'all used to do it, that ain't what we doing today. You know what I'm saying? Like that Giants defense, to what Chop's point was, they had a lot to do with limiting Tennessee and keeping that game as tight as it was. You know what I'm saying? So it's only right. They're the guys that kind of, or I can see the argument that it's only right, man. Those are the guys who was fighting, scratching, and clawing to even keep this thing close to give y'all an opportunity, and then we keep it in reach. And so now you're gonna risk throwing it away. You know what I'm saying, with that call. And so it goes to those guys, man. I'm sure they really loved and appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? Just feeling like you're a part of the program. Just like if you ask you know what I'm saying, your son Jax gets sick, he gonna take his medicine regardless. But you do it in the air and feel good about taking it, but he's taking it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if Brian Daboll said we was going for 2, we was going. But just like I said, though, it was the air pain with the medicine, though. You know what I'm saying? Go around, man. Get you guys, talk about it. Just bring them in, man. Make them feel like they're part of the process. It just helps build that camaraderie and you know what I'm saying? And just help him build that trust in one another. You know what I'm saying? His first game as a head coach, his first live game coaching this team. So he still got to make his bones in that locker room as well. So I just liked hearing that story, you know what I'm saying, for those reasons. And so that out.
Gotcha. That's a great point too, Willie Jack. Great point. All right. Let's move on, Willie Jack. Let's go to the next game, man. And this one, another disappointing game for me. It's exciting game in some ways, but very disappointing. Green Bay goes to Minnesota and they lose this game 23-7. Minnesota with this W, man. 23-7. Willie Jack, what's up? What you got, man? What you got? Talk to me. Hey, look, in the back. No, let me get out your way. Let me just go and get out your way. Let me go ahead, get out your way. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say real quick. But first off, the Vikings always seem to play the Packers well. Let's just go ahead and say that and put that out there. You know what I'm saying? The Vikings always seem to play the Packers well. And I'm going to lead the Vikings to you, Willie Jack, but I'm just going to say this. The Packers just didn't show up, flat out. They didn't show up. Very first play of the game, Rodgers drops a beautiful dime off, you know what I'm saying, deep down the right sideline. And Tom, you've been commenting here. He's one of those guys that have been talking about Christian Watson. He drops it.
Goes right through the breadbasket. How disrespectful is that?
Goes right through the breadbasket. He had an easy touchdown. He beat the defender by at least, had the defender beat by like 4 or 5 yards. He drops it. You know what I'm saying? And from there, that's exactly what the team looked like. You know what I'm saying? They the second drive, they get stuck at the goal line, you know what I'm saying, trying to go for it after they was down. Receivers couldn't get open. And also Rodgers was taking some unnecessary hits, holding the ball way too long, you know what I'm saying, making some rookie mistakes in this particular game. And the running backs were targeted more than the receivers. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a rough day overall for the Green Bay Packers, man. They just didn't show up, man. They didn't show up. So that's what I got from there.
No, I got you. And just like our dog Skinny said, man, Rodgers could be in for a long season. And so it's just one of those things where it's hard to write them. I don't want to write them off necessarily, you know what I'm saying, after one game. And then our dog Jarrell, man, day one game, Jarrell, he said that drop set the tone for the game. And man, I ain't gonna lie, boy. Aaron Rodgers, boy, he ain't shy about letting you know how he feels, boy. Aaron Rodgers wore that drop on his face and on his shoulders for the next 2 plays. Aaron Rodgers will give you obvious like this month, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Rodgers with all that. Aaron's gonna make sure everybody in the stadium know it wasn't my fault. It wasn't on me. You know what I'm saying? So that's always kind of been one of the knocks against, I guess, his style of leadership, etc. Here's Tom. He been quiet. My dog Tom Walker, what's going on? He said Baby Moss had the jitters. Boy, look, Tom had a lot of bad takes, and I told him, boy, that was one of the worst he'd had. He was swore up and down Christian Watson was the next Randy Moss. But now, hey, that speed of separation, boy, you might have been on to something if he can catch a cold butt naked in Alaska, but he can't. So it's all good. But now here's the thing about Rodgers holding on to the ball right there. If we look at it, Chop, and I haven't went back and found some footage of, you can get like sometimes you can find some little coaches film with some all 22. So I want to see kind of how receivers actually looked in those matchups, but they don't have a separator. They don't have what Chop likes to call a man beater. He's not the only one to use that term, but Chop loves to throw that around. They don't have a man beater. They got Christian Watson, who's just a big, strong, tall, straight line, fast guy. You got Alan Lazard, who before Christian Watson got there, he was the big, strong, fast, tall guy. You know what I'm saying? You've got a rookie Romeo Dobbs who had a good training camp, but he's a rookie. These are live bullets, so he's still got to find his groove. But then you've got week one Sammy who broke the streak and let you down. You know what I'm saying?
He broke. He broke.
You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't have anybody out there that could just go get busy. He doesn't have Devontae, who like, man, you can put me in the phone booth with 3 dudes, ain't nobody gonna touch me. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? And so in Aaron Rodgers, the way he likes to play the game, he's a guy who's risk adverse. He's not going to throw 50-50 balls. Throwing 50-50 balls ain't Aaron Rodgers' game. It ain't never been. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't get the most out of a guy like DeAndre Hopkins early days. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Or Megatron. You know what I'm saying? So because like it's not his style of play, desired play to throw risky balls and just count on you coming down with it. I don't want those 50-50. 50-50 is not as good as a risk for me if I'm Aaron Rodgers. He wants precision. He wants Devontae Adams. I want you to be where you're supposed to be right here on time, and you got to lose your man before you get here. And I can put it right there anywhere you want. You know what I'm saying? He wants that style of precision to throw to, and he doesn't have that right now. There's nobody on that roster that has that. And so it is going to be, a strong adjustment. Now that all of that is out the way, can we talk about the best player in football? Can we talk about Can we talk about the best offensive player in football, Chop? I'm talking about it, man. Hey, look, man, him and Big Josh, man. That boy, you've never seen so many wide open, butt-ass naked 20, 30-yard receptions in your life. I'm talking about finding ways to get lost. And mind you now, Green Bay's defense, I was talking about this coming into the year. Green Bay's defense, the finish is the top 5 defense. That defense is loaded. That defense is loaded on just about every level. The second level with Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell, maybe Quay Walker, he's a rookie. He's finding his own. Devondre Campbell was an all-pro or all-pro caliber last year. That second level stout. Rashawn Gary, that D-line, Kenny Clark still over there. He's been there for a while. That secondary, Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, the young kid for Georgia, Eric Stokes, Rasul Douglas, who they found and gave a bag to because he balled out. That secondary is stacked. And boy, when I tell you, Justin Jefferson, Jettas himself, had boys not turning each and every way. They could, what I'm saying? Like it feels like every other catch I look up, and it's a 20-yard or 30, it's a 20-yard catch, and there's nobody within 15 yards of them. You know what I'm saying? Just yeah. And so this is what. Let me pull the stats. Y'all gonna get this work because I've been trying to tell y'all. Y'all gonna get this one more 9 for 182 and 2 tubs, man. Somebody get off my dog, man. Best offensive player in football, man. Y'all stop playing with them, and it's only up from here. The Vikings, as good as they looked, and this is the thing about the Vikings. That game was 23-7. That game feel like it could have been ugly. It could have been a 40 ball. You know what I'm saying? It feel like they really could have stretched that thing out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Cook was good on the ground. He looked good on the ground. I like watching him run as well. He's another guy. I just think he runs with his vision. But no, man, this is Justin Jefferson's offensive league, man, and the rest of these boys is just lining up. This is Justin Jefferson's league, and the rest of these boys just lining up, man. You can hang it up. And I've been telling y'all though, this is the thing we gotta work on with the fields, but you gotta trust your dog. Because I tried to tell you. You could have been on the front of the bus with me, and instead you're in the back trying to fight for a seat on the bandwagon because we pulling off, big dog. But it's all good. Justin Jefferson doing his back on the thing.
And I'm gonna add a little bit to it. I know Willie Jack. He a Jettas fan, man. That's his guy. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'll let you cook, bro. Go ahead, do your thing. But check this out though. one other thing is a huge key for the Vikings in their offense too, and the reason why I think Jefferson's numbers could get better. I know it's probably hard to see that when you see a guy that come in and he's that great. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to be like, man, he gonna keep doing it. He gonna keep doing it. But the reason why I think they can get better this year specifically is because one, their head coach was last year's offensive coordinator of the Rams. You remember Cooper Kupp? Y'all remember Cooper Kupp in that triple crown season? 1,900 yards. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many touchdowns.
2K chop, 2K
You know what I'm
coming.
1,900 yards. You know what I'm saying? Those touchdowns and receptions, man. A lot of what they're doing with Jefferson is some of the same things that they did with Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm. So you didn't see sometimes you didn't even see Jair Alexander, who likes to follow, on Jefferson because of the different places that they put him in, different mismatches they put him in. So you look into 3/4 of the game, a guy who's a 3,000 yard guy, you know what I'm saying, has more than 3,000 yards, in his first 2 years. Why is he wide open? You ask yourself that. It's because of that offensive scheme and the different places that they're putting them in to be successful. Not taking anything away from Justin Jefferson, because Justin Jefferson, you know what I'm saying, in my eyes, for sure a top 3 receiver in the league. You know what I'm saying? A top 3, that's great. You know what I'm saying? But you throw a top 3 receiver in a situation like this, oh man, like Willie Jack said, man, it is only up. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you on that. It is only up.
Candy from a baby, and them Vikings look like. And I still had the Packers winning this division, and I don't know if it was nothing. Well, I know we didn't officially talk about it. I don't think somebody in the group had the Vikings winning that division, and I was like, I still don't know if I could. But hey, the way from what we just saw, man, hey, somebody was on to something. So Darius Smith was over there with the Vikings. He, just like we was talking about with Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield, he got a sack on Aaron Rodgers. Make sure he let him know about it. Zadarius Smith was a guy came over there in free agency a couple years ago, and it quickly turned into kind of the leader of that defense. Got a little banged up. Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith can roll without him. They go ahead and get him out of there. He stays in division. Had a chance to go to Baltimore. Spurns Baltimore and goes to the Vikings instead. A little more money and a chance to, you know what I'm saying, stay in division against the Packers, who had just let him go. And so yeah, now that defense looked good. But that's the thing about that I want to see going forward. Is that legit, or are the Packers just kind of floundering and find their way and they all slipping? You know what I'm saying? So I still want to how they play out, but the way they look, man, hey, they look like they making a real. They look like they may try to make a real run at this NFC Championship. And now it's extremely early to say that. It's week 1, but hey, this is week 1. This is all we got. Since we talked about, and the way they look right now, if I'm ranking the NFC, I don't see how you got the Vikings under 3. Who was more impressive than the Vikings? I think on offense and defense. I don't know. I mean, not Tampa Bay, not the Saints, definitely not them damn Rams. So I mean, we're after week 1, if we was doing a power ranking, man, and I'm trying to think on the spot, Vikings and Eagles. Vikings and Eagles got to be at the top of the NFC power ranking, I would think. You know what I'm saying? So, man, hey, I'm curious to see just how far they can take this thing.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll get a chance to see that. And the next game, man, let's go over to another team that started off with a bang, man. And if you were listening to Chop Willie in the morning, I told y'all, man, Andy Reid don't miss on season openers, man. KC comes in, put a whooping on the Arizona Cardinals, man. They win 44-21, man. Like I said before, Andy Reid, he don't miss in season openers, man. Chiefs were hitting on all cylinders. Pat Mahomes, 365 tubs. Kelsey, the Mahomes-Kelsey connection was still in full effect. You know what I'm saying? Hitting him on all different types of routes all over the field. You know what I'm saying? Hitting a lot of different receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster, man, he had a solid showing. He did have a fumble in the game, but overall, man, he was still pretty solid in this particular game. And the Chiefs, man, they were just rolling, man. They were just rolling, and it was nothing the Cardinals could do, as we were kind of watching this particular game. And to sum it up, in terms of the games that we already talked about, a lot of teams came into this week 1 looking a little sloppy and looking like they weren't fully prepared and ready to go. Not the Chiefs. The Chiefs were ready to go out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And they showed that they did the thing, and they put a whooping on the Cardinals. As far as the Cardinals, man, they were a little banged up. You know what I mean? And we talked about that a little bit. They were going to be missing a lot of pieces. But they didn't look like they belong. You know what I'm saying? In this particular game, or in the same room as these guys. and they played they were the wrong team to play against and be banged up. Say at that time, you don't want to be banged up playing the Chiefs. You banged up playing the Chiefs gonna put a whooping on you. You know what I'm saying? So I still want to see more from this team. You know what I'm saying? Who made the playoffs last year? So I want to see more. I want to see them improve. Hopefully, when they start getting a little bit healthier, they can improve. But it's only up, man. It's gonna get tough. It's gonna be tough. That division is gonna be tough. So I want to see what they do. But the Chiefs came out rolling, doing their thing. Pat Mahomes looked real good. The Chiefs' offense looked real good, and they answered those questions about Tyreek Hill, not him not being there right away.
Yeah, and that's a good segue as well, man. Got a couple good comments from my dog Skinny Man. One more time for Real Deal STL Sports in the building. Mahomes made it look easy out there. They're gonna run it up. And then he also, speaking to what you just said, Juju and MVS gonna make up what Tyreek takes with him. Okay, yeah. So he's saying essentially Juju, the combination of Juju and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, they can fill in for the hole that was created by Tyreek in his offense. And exactly right. Now, I'm not gonna hit too hard on this because this was an easy one. It was an obvious one. Patty, Patty Cakes and those boys came out. You got week 1, Andy Reid. Andy Reid, week 1, Andy Reid after a bye week. You don't want to see him either of these 2 weeks. When he gets time to really sit in the lab and just pick you apart. He always just tends to do well in both those style of game situations. But just like our dog Skinny said, man, easy day at the office for Patty Cakes, man. It was business as usual. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek who? You know what I'm saying? Almost 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Shout out to our dog, man, friend of the show, friend of the podcast, friend of the group, Craig Brody. We played ball with him in college as well, receiver, man. And he's from New Orleans or from Louisiana, and he does like athlete training. He actually trained Clyde Edwards-Helaire this summer. I don't know if you know that, y'all, but yeah, he trained him, man. He's got videos and footage and all that, man. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man, went down there. I wish I had the name of his training program or his training company, so I could plug him, man. But hey, Brody, man, proud of you, dog. See you doing big things. He trained a couple guys from the NFL this summer. Clyde Edwards-Helaire being one of them. Ike Hilliard from the Titans also trained with Brody down there this summer, man, in Louisiana. So doing well for himself, man. So shout out to you. But he's been talking and telling boys like, hey, this Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to come back. The one that's going to come after he been out here working with your dog, he going to be something else, man. And he's proud and happy for what he saw Edwards-Helaire do this Sunday, man, getting in the zone. He looks explosive. He looks shifty. He looks like the guy that they thought they were going to get when they brought him out of LSU, years ago now. So I want to shout out our dog, man. And like I said, it was a perfect time to do it while we talk about the game anyway. I'm going to get out of that game. The only thing I want to say is that the Cardinals are in trouble, bro. The Cardinals, I think, are going to take several steps back. Even when Hop gets there, the offensive line is still subpar. That defense is terrible. You've got Budda Baker, you've got an older J.J. Watt, and then you've got a bunch of guys. And they just had no answer for Patty Cakes. They tried to blitz him all day. Everybody knows you do not blitz Patrick Mahomes. That's 7-on-7 ball. If you blitz Patrick Mahomes, he's wheeling and dealing, he's dicing, he's slicing and dicing. And that's exactly what he did. I heard a stat on ESPN or something like that. They said Patrick Mahomes hadn't been blitzed at that rate since he was a rookie. When it was quickly determined that you cannot blitz Patrick Mahomes because he's going to find the opening, he's going to make the right decision. You've got to sit as many guys in coverage as you have and make him hold on to the ball now and make him make mistakes. And that's what we saw teams doing to him last year, is taking a more patient approach when playing him. And so I don't know what kind of game plan or coaching the Cardinals had going on with that. It was a terrible all the way around, and man, they paid the price for it. It looked god awful, and just like Chop said, didn't look like they belonged on the field. And so, yeah, ugly for them. Ugly for them and their new $200 million quarterback, Kyler Murray.
Facts. Big facts.
Man, one more, man. I'm sorry. Skinny pointed it out, mentioned it. Justin Reed, the new safety that came over from the Texans, filled in as the backup kicker for Harrison Buckner. And boy got leg now. That boy put a kickoff through the uprights.
Every kickoff was through the end zone. Every one.
Man, yeah. So and see that Chop Willie, the 4th round kicker, you can go get you a Justin Reed, boy. Get you a kicker to play soccer in high school. There you go.
Up until you need him to make that a 40-yard field goal to win the game with no seconds on the clock.
Hey, for sure.
So, but man. Kudos to Justin Reed, man. He did do a hell of a job stepping in for Bucker, man, kicking that ball for the Chiefs, man. On to the next game, man. We got Las Vegas. They go to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, and the Chargers coming away with this W, man. 24-19. Willie Jack, what you got?
Man, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna pick up the pace, man, because we burning time.
Right.
Derek Carr was ugly this game, man. Derek Carr was ugly this game, and I told you about, you was pretty high on those Raiders as well, man, because I was high on the Chargers, and I think you were high on the Broncos and the Raiders. But man, Derek Carr was ugly, man. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Now he Devontae Adams was Devontae Adams, so he still got busy. I think he had like 10 catches. He had 20 yards. I don't have the stat pulled up. So he's still getting busy and doing what he got to do. But no, it was just ugly Derek Carr play. And uncharacteristic for Derek Carr. Man, Derek Carr gets a bad rap in this league. I think boys go a little too hard on him. But whoever, all these naysayers and detractors from Derek Carr, he had fresh fuel to that fire because it was ugly ball out there for a lot of it. And now here's another thing as well about these Chargers. And so the Chargers, I feel like this was another game that I felt like, much like I did with that Vikings, like this should have been a 5-point game. I feel like they left points on that field. This is a game they should have won this game by 17 points. You know what I'm saying? So they still have a ways there to go to putting the nail in the coffin. This is something they ran into last year. You got a quarterback that can score 50 points on anybody, and then you got a defense that would give up 51. You know what I'm saying? So like they didn't lose this game, of course, but still, man, this is a game where it looked to me they were clearly the better team, top to bottom. Khalil Mack, this week was filled with revenge games. We forget because Khalil Mack just came from the Bears. Khalil Mack came from the Raiders originally. The Raiders didn't want to pay him, the Raiders didn't want to pay him. They sent him to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And so this was a home run for him as well. And he reintroduced himself with 3 sacks. You know what I'm saying? 3 sacks in his first time, you know what I'm saying? Back in, well, not in that stadium because they were still in Oakland when he was there, but still back facing that team, and he got busy. You know what I'm saying? So 3 sacks. And man, I'm trying to tell you, this is what I was expecting, Chop. That Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa tandem, bro. That's scary. That's scary hours. That's freaky. You know what I'm saying? Like that's nasty, big dog. Like, man, hey, if now, mind you, the Raiders' offensive line needs help. You know what I'm saying? We know about them canceling or cutting and get away from Alex Leatherwood, guy they overdrafted. You've got Colton Miller, who was a solid piece on that left side, and then the rest of those 4 guys may as well be Tom, Dick, and Harry. They guys. You know what I'm saying? So if that's an indication, man, that line is going to be could be problematic for the Raiders all year long. But man, I'll tell you, Bosa and Mack specifically went to work. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him as well.
Gotcha. And Willie Jack, I'll keep it short and sweet as well, man. Both of these teams actually struggled to find a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Especially early in this game. Like I said, both of these teams struggled to find a rhythm. You know what I mean? I do think the Raiders will be better. Specifically, Carr, he threw 3 interceptions in this game and fumbled twice, and they lost by 5. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I definitely think Carr will be better. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the season, you're going to see better Carr, and with the better Carr, you're going to see a better offense, and this team is going to be able to make some noise and put up more points. Mm-hmm. The difference for the Chargers is I still saw some of the same decision making and mistakes as last year. That scares me. You know what I'm saying? Not Deuce Staley, but Brandon Staley was out there doing some of the same things we saw him do last year, some things that got him in trouble, but he was bailed out by that defense. That defense that mm-hmm. caused 5 turnovers, got 6 sacks. You know what I'm saying? They were able to help him out. That was the difference because last year they'd have lost this game. Mm-hmm. They'd have lost it. They'd have gave it away because of Staley and the decisions that he made. Specifically, one, they were on like the 1 yard line from a penalty. He throws. They don't run a ball one time. They do 3 passes. Now, luckily, they end up scoring a touchdown, but they had a lot of chances there, and they looked like they was about to blow it. He was so fancy. He went for it on a couple fourth downs in which they failed to get some of them. So he got to pick it up. He's got to get better, man. He's got to get better, and if he's able to get better, then this team will get better. The good thing is they have this defense. Khalil Mack is going to be there. Bosa is going to be there. J.C. Jackson wasn't back yet. He will be back. When he comes back, he's going to be another addition. But I expect the Raiders to be better, you know, moving forward, and Carr to be better. So,
Exactly, and that's where I was getting at, where I said I feel like the Chargers definitely, because the comparison I make is to the Steelers. Their game, well, defensively from a turnover perspective, was eerily similar to my Steelers and the Bengals. My Steelers had 7 sacks and 5 turnovers. The Chargers had 6 sacks and 5 turnovers. Both of them scored less than 25 points. 23, they scored 24. Now the difference is my offense has got Mitchell Trubisky. Your offense has Justin Herbert and 2 Pro Bowl caliber receivers, a Pro Bowl caliber running back. You know what I'm saying? And just an explode. So they don't have any built-in excuse for not producing. And like I said, and a lot of it gets back to decision making, and like I said, just missed opportunities, bad decisions at key moments. And like I said, so they're way too talented a team to scrape by with that victory and get it scrape by just like my Steelers did with most high school teams JV playing offense. You know what I'm saying? Well, I shouldn't say it. Our skill positions are legit, but that's the point I'm making. They don't have no excuse for not being able to do more with all their defense got them. Especially when they've got AFC championship dreams that are contendership. You know what I'm saying? So they're a team that's got to be able to, like I said, you got to when you're a team like that and you get 5-6 turnovers, you got to 40 ball somebody. You know what I'm saying? Big Josh 40 balls on Patty Cakes 40 balls, whoever it is, 5 turnovers. Get Tom Brady 5 turnovers. Man, you can cancel Christmas. 40 ball. You know what I'm saying? You got to capitalize when your defense is putting in work like that. And like I said, they were playing so putrid on offense on the other side. Yeah, Carr just had one of the worst games, if not the worst game, probably in his career.
Gotcha. And then the last little bit of news for that game, and Keenan Allen is going to be out this upcoming game, and we'll talk about that game in just a second here too. But he'll be out this particular week. So the Chargers are going into the next game without their best receiver. So we'll see how that's going to look and see if Herbert will be able to lift the team. On to the Sunday night game. Let's go to the Sunday night game, and we had Tampa Bay going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Tampa Bay ends up coming away with this W, man. They win this one 19-3. My takeaway from this game, man, was more so for the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? And this was the thing that I feared with the Cowboys going into this season, was that they don't have a man beater. They don't have a man beater. You know what I'm saying? Tampa Bay, they was real simple in what they did on defense. They manned up, they played tight, and Dak couldn't find open receivers. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't find, and this was before he got hurt. He was playing terrible as well. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a good game. He played terrible, but those receivers couldn't get open. Amari Cooper was that man beater. You know what I'm saying? There's not many people that can guard Amari Cooper one-on-one, and we talked about this plenty of times before, and they were missing him clearly in this particular game. You know what I'm saying? The only guy that really got, enough of those touches or a few of those, catches was Dalton Schultz. You know what I'm saying? He was finding his open spots, you know what I'm saying? And other than that, the Cowboys couldn't get nothing going. You know what I'm saying? We know the Bucs defense is good. We know who they are. You know what I'm saying? We know who Tom Brady is. Tom Brady is going to make all the right plays. He's going to be simple in his approach. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did. They didn't put up a lot of points. They didn't go crazy, but they did what they needed to do to control and win this game. And the score, they didn't put up a ton of points, but the game wasn't close, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just blow them out, but the game wasn't close. So
I got you.
Tampa Bay ended up coming away with this W easy, man. And Dak Prescott, the Cowboys are in trouble, especially after Dak Prescott's injury. So it looks like he'll be out a few weeks too with this particular injury. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Willie Jack, man. They were in conversation with possibly winning this division. Now, I don't know if they make the playoffs at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they got that opportunity. So we'll see how their season play out.
No, and I'm going to be really short on this one as well. Now, I had the Eagles winning the division, but I still had Dallas in my mind. Dallas is still going to be a playoff team. But now I'm looking at it, just like you said, that was ugly ball, man. Before Dak got hurt, that was just ugly ball. Ugly ball, ugly. The offensive line, man, they in trouble. They signed Jason Peters to the practice squad. Jason Peters, 47 years old. He's going to be an improvement whenever he finally does get on the field. You know what I'm saying? Everything else you already kind of got to. It wasn't the cleanest of games from Tom Brady. You didn't mention your dog Julio, man. So I got you. Julio got loose on a big one down the sideline. He was a little slow to get up, man. I feel like them old bones is talking to him. Boy, you see that? He had kind of he got up a little slow. He didn't look quite as spry. You know what I'm saying? But I think he had that one big catch. He got loose on like a jet sweep. I think he ran for like 12, 14 yards, something like that. So Chris Godwin got a little banged up in that game. From what I can tell, I think they were saying nothing he's going to miss extended time for. So just looking forward, want to see just how the chemistry grows between Julio and TB12. See how that goes. The biggest thing that I have for this game is Michael Parsons, a top 3 edge rusher in this league right now. I'm ready to stamp him, bro. Michael Parsons is a top 3-4. I'm gonna take Big TJ. I'm gonna take Myles Garrett. I'm gonna take Nick Bosa. And then Michael Parsons is the next guy. And he's still only playing edge. He's still only playing 50% edge. He's still part-timing. He's still moonlighting on the edge. You know what I'm saying? I'm done to seeing him at linebacker. Yeah, I understand he's got range, he's got size, he's got aggression. He can make, but the guys in the get paid as much as the guys in the front. You know, put that boy on the edge, let him pin his ear long. He had 2 sacks in this game against Tom Brady. And like I said, he's a guy that's still part-timing. And so, but man, yeah. He's still a guy, man, playing special. And so the one bright spot on that Buccaneers team, I wish we weren't up against the time because I was going to ask you about the blindside chip block Leonard Fournette did. Playoff Lenny, what they call him, boy, took Mike off his feet. Now, in fairness, he was engaged to tackle, and so it's a chip. It's a blind chip. I've been there. It's BS. You know what I'm saying? Because it's weak. You know, I feel everything they feel. Vine said that block needs to be eliminated from football, and I wish we had time I want to get your opinion on that because they're making the game so soft for the offense. That how come we need to bounce back on the defense as well? We can take that out. You know what I'm saying? Because hits like that are flags on the defense. He was engaged and unprotected and didn't see it was a blindside hit. It should be a penalty. If it's a penalty for offense, if it's a penalty for one, it should be for other. Maybe we can circle back to that later on in the round, later on down the line. But yeah, ugly football from Dallas. It looks terrible with or without Dak. That's ugly football to watch. Kellen Moore, man, they thought they had something special as far as the offensive coordinator. He was the backup, a poo backup there for a number of years. But I didn't see or like anything they tried to do with like CeeDee Lamb is a very young, and I'm talking too long. I said I wasn't gonna do that. I'm sorry. CeeDee Lamb is a very talented young receiver. You've got to be more creative to get him the ball. Just like Chop said, you don't necessarily have Amari who just line up at you know what I'm saying? You line him up at X or you line him up wherever and just let him whoop his guy and get open. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different style of play, but you got to be more creative and find ways to get the ball to the playmakers that you do have. And CeeDee Lamb is a very talented guy. So they've got it's trouble in Dallas's paradise for sure. And just like Chop said, that doesn't look like a playoff team. Not from what we just saw just yesterday or just Sunday, excuse me.
For sure. All right, man. And going to the last game, man, going to Monday night, man. Let's go into Monday night game. We had Denver going to Seattle, man. Revenge game for Russell Wilson, man. And Seattle ends up coming away with the W, man. They win this game 17-16. All right. I watched this game, man. I was kind of going. I was doing a lot of running around too, man. And I thought a couple things. One, I'm upset. Just like I talked to you earlier, Jarrell, I'm upset with Denver. I'm upset with Russell. You know what I'm saying? I'm upset with these guys. But unlike with the Indianapolis Colts, I felt like Russell and them had a couple things. Denver had some things that they could work with. They had some things that like, okay, I can see this team making some noise. They had 2 fumbles on the goal line. You don't do that. You can't do that on the goal line when you're getting ready to score and punch it in. You score one of those, that's game. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You score one of those, that's game. Seattle doesn't win. Instead, you got Geno Smith in the press conference talking his noise. You know what I'm saying? And hey, kudos to you, Geno. Do your thing. Talk your noise. You know what I'm saying? But he back there talking about some, hey, they tried to write me off, but I ain't right back.
I ain't right back, though. That's a bar. Hey, that's a bar. They tried to write me off. I ain't right back, though.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, Geno. You know what I'm saying? Everybody did. You know what I'm saying? I said it. I said it was going to be a blowout. I
was talking cash about to see y'all's quarterback wrong.
I wrote you off. And don't get me wrong, I still don't think y'all a playoff team. But hey, man, you got the one that mattered. That's the one. This was y'all Super Bowl this year,
y'all
man. Win this game against Russell. You know what I'm saying? You don't win nothing else. You won that game. You got those bragging rights. Russell can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So they end up pulling this out. But I do think the Denver Broncos still got some stuff to work with, man. I like the way Javonte and Gordon look, man. That combo, those guys look like they're gonna make some noise. I do think Sutton, this could be a big year for Sutton. Jerry Jeudy is finally gonna get the targets that he needs in order to be successful. And I just like the way it looks. You know what I'm saying? The defense, I think the defense still was pretty solid for the most part. The corners played really well. It was more so, up the middle, the coverage on the middle of the field. And when things broke down is when the defense start to struggle a little bit. But I think they're gonna be fine. I think they got the bell rung a little bit. They lost this game, but they coming back. I think Denver is gonna be fine. I'm still sticking with what I said, man. I'm riding with it, dog.
Man, boy, you poor soul. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I can deal with if it was just now. There's two things about this game. I was very surprised that Seattle booed Russell Wilson, bro. I really was. I'm thinking because, like, man, he didn't do nothing. He stayed with y'all through them ugly times. He wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? Rumors and reports came out that the Seahawks had been, you know what I'm saying, had been kind of back channeling about moving them for a few seasons now. You know what I'm saying? And so he stayed through all that, man. He never gave y'all no grief. He never called out, never openly disrespected the team or the city. And so I wish it could have been a more respectful homecoming for a guy like that who does it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought that was that could have been a little classier. But at the same time, man, Seattle had it on their mind. Oh, Seattle had it on their chest. They had to get that off. Seattle came out there fired up and ready to go. You could tell, like Chop said, it meant something to them. It didn't mean anything to the Broncos. I mean, and then Russell Wilson, his temperament, he's not a guy that's going to try to rally you around. Hey, man, let's go stick it to my old team. He's not on that either. So I could tell they probably just went in there convinced, like, no, let's just handle business, guys. Let's, just another game day at the park. And no, Seattle ain't looked that damn excited to play football since Super Bowl years. You know what I'm saying? So they had boys out there flying around looking good. The white linebacker next to Jordan Brooks, man, number 57, I want to say, like Carlton, or man, I had his name. I can't think now, but he came to play some ball, man. He came to play some. I wish I could think of his name. I want to give him his flowers, but no, I felt like he was all over the field. I felt like more times than not, when there was a tackle on the ball, he was in the screen, like he was in the picture. Remember, like a coach to tell you, and especially like a make the team, be in the picture. You know what I'm saying? When everybody goes back and look at the film, we want to see 32 every single time. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can't say nothing else, like, man, this 32 stays around the ball. And guys who are around the ball have good things happen to them. 57 was around the ball. You know what I'm saying? But no, they got after it, man. Geno came out there looking like prime Peyton Manning. The boy started 14 for 14 for about 140 yards on the touchdown. He was, 14 for 16 at a point, or 17 for 18? He was out there lights out dealing, was clearly the best quarterback on the field. You know what I'm saying? And he earned that little, and I ain't even gonna call it a snapback because the reporter teed up the question, and it was just and I seen somebody else do this as well. The reporter teed up the question, and it was Dwayne with the no look to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He already running down the court with the arms wide. They wrote me off. I ain't right back. She couldn't have planned on that. You know what I'm saying? So he did what he had to do. This is what worries me about that. Russell Wilson played bad. Now they were getting after that offensive line. He wasn't comfortable in that pocket. He didn't. I didn't like what I saw. And like I said, Russell, he was a little late. I didn't like some of the decisions, and just some of the throws were just off. The touchdown pass to Jerry Jeudy was a terrible pass. And I'm sitting there thinking, as soon as I see it, I'm like, okay, because I'm waiting on it. Here we go. Air it out. For me, Russell Wilson probably throws the prettiest deep ball in the league. I'm not talking about overall strength, overall velocity, but he throws just perfect, tight spiraling moon shots. You know what I'm saying? Them bad boys just and just fall smoothly wherever he wants it to go. Like, he just throws a pretty deep ball. And so you've got Jerry Jeudy, who washes rookie Kobe Bryant, the corner from Cincinnati, who was the partner to Sauce Gardner in college, loses that ball off the line. He's dead meat. He's dead in that route, 4 yards into the route. And Jerry Jeudy has got 4 yards on his ball, just waiting on the ball, and Russell underthrows him. And I'm thinking, Russ, it was like a 40-yard pass, 35, 40-yard pass, well within his range. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you got to air that out. That should have been a walk-off jog touchdown to the end zone. Instead, it's underthrown. Jerry Jeudy has to slow down, wait on it, kind of box and get Buddy out the way. He still makes kind of a difficult catch, and then kind of breaks a weak tackle, and then he tries in for the end zone. But it shouldn't. Why did he even take all that? Just a bad ball. It Russ just didn't look good. And then Skinny, shout out to Real STL Sports, still rocking with us the long way, man. We appreciate it. He said 0 for 4 in the red zone in Seattle. You just not winning that game. Russ knows that better than anybody. And the 12s was there to play. The 12s is there now. The 12s was loud all night. Denver had several false start penalties. You know what I'm saying? So the Russell getting a taste of his own medicine, man, being on the other side of that crowd noise and how hostile that environment can get. And so, like I said, man, it meant something to Seattle. They went out there and handled business. Rashad Penny looked damn good. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, they were rolling, man. They were rolling. Didn't see enough of Gina, of DK and Tyler Lockett. But like I said, man, it is what it is. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. DK and your boy Pat Surtain had a couple good battles. They did. Patrick Surtain got flagged on one where he got a little too aggressive. But I like that penalty because he's not backing down. You know what I'm saying? Like DK went out there playing bully ball. You know what I'm saying? He'll toss, run, and abuse a lot of corners. Pat Surtain, being a young guy, he's like, hold on, big dog. Boy, I'm 6'2", 200. Boy, I'm grown at me. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got into it. You know, or they were competitively. You know what I'm saying? And then he had another one where he was right there in his hip pocket, man, playing aggressive. He had a good breakup on one. Another one where he was playing aggressive right there they're jostling. DK makes a very tough catch. And so I liked what I saw from him as far as like, ain't nobody gonna little boy Patrick Surtain. I learned that Sunday. You know what I'm saying? If you hold your own like that and you can shove and throw around with DK, ain't nobody in this league that's gonna give you problems, the big dog. You know what I'm saying? Not with size of power. So that was a very good thing. I want to shout him out. 2 fumbles on the goal line, man. One from my dog, man. One from the young boy we both like, Javonte Williams, and one from Melvin Gordon. Just like Chop said, man, you can't win like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a tall order. And with all that said, you still have a chance to win that game at the end of the game. And then what do you do with your new $250 million quarterback on 4th and 5 with 2 timeouts and a minute left? You run the time down, you call a timeout, then you send a panic. Then in a panic, you go out there and you attempt a 59-yard field goal. Was it 50? No. It would have broke the record. Or almost, but it was a
64.
60, yeah, I'm tripping. I was thinking of another game. A 64-yard field goal. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it was an indictment on how poorly Russ played. It was also an indictment on the lack of cojones, the lack of onions from Nathaniel Hackett, their new coach who came over from Green Bay, and poor all the way around. And then to make it worse, you go for it. The kick ain't even down close. And then they got out. And then he calls the 2 timeouts instead of letting them take the knee and getting out of there respectfully. I'm saying, like, why is it called? What's just terrible showing for as a first game for the coach and the quarterback. And so I think those problems in Denver, what I saw Sunday, that's not something you grow out of in 2-3 weeks just from practicing and playing together. They got real issues. Russell Wilson doesn't look like the same guy. I haven't seen the real Russell Wilson since before that injury in Seattle last year. Remember, he came back from that injury and just played ugly ball. That looked like that guy. It was just bad ball, man. So that worries me. I think there's bigger causes for concern in Denver now, and that's I'm worried.
Yeah, I think the moment got a little bit too big for Nathaniel Hackett. I think that's essentially what it was, especially for him taking so much time off before he called that first timeout. He let about 30 seconds run off the clock. You know what I'm saying? Before he called the timeout and then end up trying to go for the field goal. I think that moment was a little bit too big for him. You know what I'm saying? He tucked
his tail, just like you were supposed to say. He tucked his tail.
I wouldn't say he tucking your tail mean. I think you just shied away from the moment. I think the moment was just too big for him. You know what I'm saying?
And he folded.
Yeah, he folded. He folded
Yeah.
for sure. He folded in the moment. In the moment. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think him calling those last 2 timeouts when Seattle had the ball was him still in that moment struggling to trying to manage the situation, and he called those timeouts. You know what I'm saying? Now, the part that I'm worried about was that what that is when your players notice that, it's hard to get your locker room. It's hard to earn respect from your locker room. So they better get it together, and they better get it together now.
Oh yeah.
So
oh yeah, and especially because if I'm on that defense And because they lost that game. What was the score of that game, Chop? Was it 19 or 20 to 18?
17-16. 17-16.
17-16. So if I'm on that defense, now mind you, the Seahawks aren't an offensive juggernaut. But if we hold an NFL team to 17 points, you're going to tell me we spent $250 million to get this guy from that team and we can't score 20 points? We didn't lose this game 34-31. Then it's all bets off, man. Hey, if the offense give us 34, we got to win, Chop. We play defense. And on the same thing, the defense give us 17. We can't, or give us 19. We can't get 20 points. It's inexcusable. And inexcusable for a team that just spent a quarter $2 billion on a quarterback who we took the ball out of his hands in winning time. Man, nah, if I'm in Denver, boy, I'm scared shitless right now. I'm worried, bro. I'm super worried because by all accounts, the Seahawks are predicted to be a bottom 5 team in this league this year. And if that's how we do in the bottom 5, then man, I don't see where it goes from there. Like, man, golly. Just like my dog Day One game, Jarrell still in this thing rocking a long way said, you got to put it on the shoulders of the $250 million man. Exactly, bro. Right, wrong, or other, I don't give a damn. When you spend that money on this guy, you got to win and lose with him. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You got to win and lose with him. Hell no.
Gotcha. All right, man. And last one, Willie Jack. We got one more, man. One more. We got a Thursday night game tomorrow, man. And we got the Chargers going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. I need you to tell me who you got, man. What's up?
Oh, Chiefs, man. Chiefs easily for me because the Chargers still just like we were saying in that Raiders game, man. They still got a lot to prove between the ears. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know what? When Coach Ford used to say, like, man, you're All-American from the neck down. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got it up here yet. Well, you can be All-American from the neck down. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Chargers. Every skill position, offense and defense, they are at or near the top of the league. You know what I'm saying? So talent's not a problem. They outside of just this last week, they score points at will. Now you've got a defense to complement it, and none of it matters at all because they don't have it up here. The coach doesn't have it up here. The quarterback still doesn't have it up here, and I can't trust that when you line it up across from Andy Reid and Patty Cakes. You know what I'm saying? And coming off the win they just had, and they're a team that thrives on momentum. And like I said, they ride their highs higher than most any other team in the league. When Kansas City's when Kansas City's rolling, they play to momentum better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, I think it's in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, it's in Kansas City.
Okay, yeah, and it's in Kansas City on a short week. I don't know if J.C. Jackson's going to play in this one as well. And so I'm not going to lie, man. It wouldn't surprise me if like on paper, maybe that should be a shootout. Okay, yeah, we're going to do scores. So maybe on paper, that's a game that could have been 30-28. I'm not going to lie, man. I think Kansas City puts a little breathing room between them boys. If you told me, I think Kansas City wins that by 2 touchdowns. I think Kansas City wins that game. Ooh, no, I shouldn't go that far with the Chargers defense. I think Kansas City wins that game comfortably. I'll say give me 8. Give me 30. Give me 31-23. 31-23 Kansas City at home. And I think it's going to be a game where Kansas City clearly looks like the superior team, even though they don't necessarily run away with it with the score, if that makes sense. But I think watching that game, we're going to feel like, oh no, Chargers still got a ways to go. I didn't like what I saw from them Sunday. I like a lot what I saw from Kansas City Sunday by comparison. Now, granted, it was against the Cardinals, which looked to be a bottom 5 team in the league from what they just showed. They look terrible. We need to do an updated power ranking because I'm telling you what, boy, Arizona looks ugly. Denver looks ugly. But yes, I think Kansas City wins that one without getting any real pressure or smoke from the Chargers.
Gotcha. And I got the score 30-24. I got Kansas City as well. I think the Chargers not having Keenan Allen is going to be big for them. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be missing their best receiver, and I don't think they're going to have enough to get it done, man. So I got the Chiefs winning 30-24. They're operating at high cylinders. I don't think they'll be able to do I think their offense is going to have to do a little bit more, though, to help slow down the Chargers offense because the Chiefs defense, you know what I'm saying, it's not the best. But at the same time, I still think the Chiefs are rolling high right now. They're gonna do their thing, and they're gonna come away with this W. 30-24 is my final score. Willie Jack of this game. I got the Chiefs winning. Mark it down for my people when to let the film speak. Weekly pick 'em, man. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. I got a pick in here, man. I got one of my guys. I think that's Skinny in here. Says the Chiefs. He got the Chiefs 39-34. He said he still don't believe in the Chiefs. D. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of with you on there. But Willie Jack, man. I know we had a long one today, man. We had a long one, man.
We did.
I'm probably gonna hear it. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm probably gonna hear it from my wife. She upstairs with the baby, man. So you know what I'm saying. Hey, y'all better like, share, and subscribe on this one. You know what I'm saying.
Y'all better hit the bell for my dog. My dog finna go up there and get them paws put on. Somebody better hit that bell, man. Somebody hit that bell for my dog, man. But hey, there you got it, man. Hey, a long show tonight, man. We really do appreciate, man, everybody staying and rocking out with us, man. Man, 2.5 hours. We ain't went this long in quite a while. It was week one, man. The first one. Oh, who's that? Oh, that wasn't Skinny. I guess they said I'm not that skinny. Okay, I don't know who scored that was there, man. 39-34. But no, man. Appreciate everybody coming through and rocking with us, man. Like we said, man. I know we stayed and ran late tonight, man. My dog Chop's gonna have to pay for it, man.
That's Scott. That's Scott. My bad. That was Scott. My fault.
Okay.
We can't see the name, Scott. We can't see the name. My fault.
Yeah, man. Hey, and that's another thing too, man. That's a perfect transition. A reminder. Y'all gotta come over to the YouTube, man. Y'all gotta come over to the YouTube. The Facebook, we can get the comments, but we don't have any names to attach to the comments, etc. And like I said, we're transitioning, man. We're gonna be moving away from that Facebook, and so we want to get everybody all the way over to the YouTube if we can. So everybody's already here and comfortable and ready to rock and roll with us, man, as we move forward. So hey, as always, man, it's gonna be short and sweet tonight. Appreciate all the love for everybody that came through, man. Y'all already know what's going on. Real quick, man. Shout out to Day One Game Jarrell in the building, man. Shout out to Skinny. Real deal SDL Sports in the building. My dog Tom came through. The home team came through. Appreciate the fam. My mom, my auntie, my sister, and my cousin was in this thing for me a little bit earlier, man. Appreciate all the love, family, as always. Man, my dog Tom came through. Man, hey, other than that, you know what's going on. If I forgot to say your name, you can charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart. You know we was thinking about you, man. Wednesdays, 7 o'clock. No Watch Wednesday, man, because we ain't got nowhere else to be on Wednesday in here, man. Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Only thing we got to do is let the film speak, man. Right here on YouTube. Fooling with your boys, man. Chop Willie giving it to you like we always do. We will be back Sunday. Chop Willie in the morning, man. The season is here. Y'all know what that means. That means y'all get us not once but twice because it's twice as nice. Sundays we are here, man. Live in full effect, man. The pregame show. Chop Willie in the morning. Y'all missed all them Nuggets last week, man. We told y'all about Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. We told y'all about any other number of games, man. You can better believe, man, we broke it down, man, and got into it. And a lot of that stuff, the way it happens, man, it just tends to come through. So fool with us on Sundays, man. We appreciate everybody who did come through. As always, man, Sundays before the game, man, get your pregame with Chopper Willie in the morning. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, the home team show, man. The weekly recap, man. We will be here every Sunday. Next week, I can tell you right now, man, if my dog Chop ain't got black eyes still, man, we will be done at a more reasonable time, man. Other than that, man, appreciate the love as always, man. Y'all know we mean that sincerely, man. Y'all take it easy till next Wednesday. Peace.